Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition of the season here of the GSL, the Global StarCraft League 2025 Season 2, Round of 12, Group B. I'm of course just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my chains as well. As we're chains, unchained, we're here. We're here for some GSL action. Welcome back again. We had an intense weekend, a intense week of pure EWC content of Esports World Cup, and now we're here. We are back to catch up on the GSL. As a heads up, just to be transparent, of course, the GSL did take place last week, and we were going to cover these matches last week as well, and then bam, EWC. Then bam, EWC qualifiers, non-stop EWC qualifiers, so we had no room to actually catch up on these matches until now. Let's go. Of course, this is our second broadcast of the day. Earlier today, around 5-ish hours ago, we were live with Group A. We were live with GSL Group A. We wrapped up. We did cover the first two players making it through. That was, of course, Solar and Zaun making it through into Group Stage 2. And now we're here to determine the next set of players to also make it through into the next round of Group Stage. We're here to find out which of these two make it through. Let's go as we switch it over and catch up on our group itself. We have Group A again. This is the round of 12. We have our Group B, I should say, and we have our four players here. We have GuMiho, Bunny, Shin, and ByuN. We have a lot of Terrans. We have a lot of Terrans. We have a lone Zerg surrounded by said Terrans as well, and we'll see which of these players can advance on. Again, this is going to be a GSL group, non-stop best of threes, no best of fives, just purely best of threes here in this group stage. We have initial match 1, match 2, followed by the winners match, losers match, and a decider match as well. And yeah, from here, I mean, we'll see who can advance on. It's great to see some of these other players that did struggle last season. For those that don't remember, Bunny and Shin failed to qualify for GSL Season 1, but now they've made it through into GSL Season 2. So they have been able to kind of make up for that. They're here to redeem themselves, here to prove that they are worth being in the GSL. And likewise, I think they have a good chance, of course. When it comes to GuMiho, we rate his TVT very, very highly. When it comes to Shin, I mean, his ZVT can be also very unorthodox as well. We were able to display that over during DreamHack Dallas, where SHIN did go up against Clem and was looking very impressive, but SHIN was also relying on a more unique style of going roaches, going for a more roach heavy start, very safe play, and then rushing into ultras. We have seen many a Rogue player embrace that since then. We've seen both Rogue and Solar likewise adopt said style in the days and in the weeks after DreamHack Dallas now, and yeah, it has been definitely something that has now been mixed into more standard meta play, but we'll see if he does embrace that here against, or in this group against these Terran opponents, or if he does something different. We'll get there. For now though, we have our TVT. We have our Terran versus Terran ahead of us with GuMiho and ByuN. Let's go. We're stepping out our first best of 3. Game 1 is going to be on ley lines. Let's go. Of course, as a reminder as well, this week is Stars Agora, because I think Stars Agora starts tomorrow, by the way. But because Stars Agora does begin tomorrow, I believe there is no GSL this week. So there's no GSL this week. We do have a week off when it comes to GSL, so now is the perfect time for us to catch up on those matches, for sure. It is the best time to catch up, and GSL returns next week, and we'll also likely be going over the replays next week as well, a couple days after they take place. And here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have our blue Terran representing S8UL Esports. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Terran player for Team Falcons. It is ByuN. So share map, it's gonna be a short one. It's as immediately SCVs are being sent across. Now we have 2 SCVs here for ByuN being sent across the map as we speak. The Raxes are upon us. Meanwhile, GuMiho likewise does the same, but one proxy is not quite like the other. We have proxy 2 racks out of ByuN. We have the proxy 1 racks out of GuMiho. Ay. So given the situation here, given the kind of game state, I believe that ByuN does have a pretty big advantage here. Unfortunately, GuMiho's production is going to be stifled, assuming we go for a second racks back at home, by the way, which if so is going to be heavily delayed. But there's nothing at home to defend. There's nothing. There's just nothing here. Sure, GuMiho has a proxy and he can start doing damage, but because of the double proxy of ByuN, he will have more Reapers, he'll have double the DPS, and I think that's just game. I mean, outside of oh, never mind. Never mind, Papi, never mind. That is not proxy Reaper, that is proxy Marauder. Okay, so this is gonna hit later because it's Marauder and not Reaper. So this is gonna be more delayed here by ByuN, and that means that GuMiho hits first. And okay. We're going full Clown Fiesta, Paprika. Let's go. So GuMiho's gonna hit first. He's gonna start wreaking havoc initially here. ByuN, unfortunately, he's gonna have to work through the wall. He's gonna have to, I mean, a couple of boys are being pulled already. Let's go, let's send it. The boys are being pulled. Okay. We're here for some StarCraft. As Reaper does get into the middle line. First SCV goes down. It gets 1 SCV already here. The boys are being pulled, and so far with good enough control, GuMiho should not lose this Reaper. It should not happen. Likewise, boys are being pulled back. Marauder is revealed. And so far, so good when it comes to unit control. So far, 3 SCVs, 4 SCVs going to be going down. This one Reaper wreaking havoc already. The Marauder has arrived. Oh, GuMiho is supply blocked, and we're going for the other depot to make sure that remains to be the case. Oh boy. So all these, they're all gonna die, 100%. So all these SCVs are going to die. They're all going to fall. We're going to be seeing the Great Migration. At the same time, these Marauders are kiting back as best they can. They can get surrounded. They're already getting low on HP, but here we go. Another Marauder has arrived as well. So far, the kiting has been solid. The kiting has been good. Behind this, Starport is on the way. Proxy Starport out of GuMiho. And as he loses SCVs, he is no longer supply blocked. I mean, he still is. GuMiho still 15 out of 15. Going for the tech lab. If he can get a Banshee out, then he can win the game. Like 1 Banshee. And again, he wants to lose SCVs. He wants to lose them. He needs that supply. The SCVs are going to be going down. Supply is being freed. Show us that Banshee. There it is. Banshee's on the way. And I think that's game, right? GuMiho, he can float everything. Marauders don't shoot up. All the SCVs are dead. So right now ByuN is hoping for a draw more than anything, but the reality is that this band, I mean, I guess true, I guess draw, right? No, actually, no, GuMiho wins. Yeah, GuMiho wins. I was gonna say draw because they can't kill each other, but all that GuMiho has to do is kill the Marauders, then he can land. Like once the Marauders die, then he can land, then he can mule, right? Like he doesn't need to make SCVs, he just has to mule, and then he's good. So there we go. so that's game for GuMiho. The only way that can mess up is if GuMiho accidentally lands like buildings randomly. I mean, we can see Bunny trying to float over, trying to get his own economy back up and running. The one hero Banshee. We got a Viking on the way as well. Crazy. The cloak is a little bit unnecessary because nothing shoots up, but sure. And yeah, from here we just kill all the Marauders one after the other. Again, like Bunny, if he had just gone 2x Reaper, like that was just an instant win there for Bunny, man. Aye. I see Bunny searching for bases, trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, we can see the CC here in the center. And yeah, there's one Marauder left. There's one Marauder left here for Bunny. Yep, Viking has arrived, so GG. GG, well played with that. GuMiho, he will take a lead in the series. The hell just happened? GG, well played. So again, GuMiho, in a way, hard countered. If you recall, I initially thought that Bunny had hard countered, and then he started making tech labs, unfortunately. So he was going not proxy 2x Reaper, he was going proxy 2x Marauder. Because that does hit a lot later. Because of that, GuMiho was given time to react, to respond, and to set up across the map. Going for, of course, the Ninja starport was a really smart move. It ensured that he would win the game. If he didn't have that proxy starport, then you could argue a draw. Then like a draw could have occurred between the players, or the game would have been reset in a way. But yeah, GG well played. Again, having the wherewithal to get that Banshee up and running, and with that he will claim the first game. And now we're getting into game 2. Now is it GuMiho's? I mean, they did both just proxy. Do we do it again? Do we? let's go, Papi, let's go. Oh no, not like this. Now I wouldn't be opposed to an early night. I wouldn't be opposed to it. True. GuMiho, the clown fiestas. Gibbs. We're going full payaso, man. Okay, let's go. Spawning in the one-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran, representing SHIN Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Red Terran player, the South Korean Terran, representing Team Falcons, down in the series after a very chaotic game 1. It is Bunny. Let's go. But again, really smart for GuMiho, just going for the checkmate, essentially going for the proxy starport, the Banshee, the Vikings. Crazy. This time, though, the Raxes are back at home, okay? This time we're calming down with the... we're taking a breath. We do have the Rax back at home for Bunny. Likewise, GuMiho going for an interesting Rax location further back in the main. Interesting. But outside of that, everything's looking normal. Looking as it should. Oh. There we go. From here, double gas opener out of Bunny. So Bunny's going for a faster factory. He's going for a delayed TC. Meanwhile, GuMiho going for a more economic start, going for a faster command center instead. So economic start here from our Blue Terran player. At least it should be. And from here, we can get in towards a mid-game. We'll keep an eye mainly on Bunny. Because Bunny's going double gas, because he'll have a faster factory, we'll keep an eye on the add-ons. From here, he can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. He can go into earlier Cyclones. There's a Cyclone drop. He can go into Banshee drop play as well. Like, Bunny's going to have a lot of options here, and GuMiho does confirm the double gas. He's aware of the factory timing. He knows. Back at him, there's that CC. Technically, Bunny can turn this into a one-base all-in. Technically, he can go for a starport as a follow-up and not expand and just send it across the map. That is possible, and I wouldn't put it past him. There are some players that do that more often. Players like GuMiho, actually. Like I would pin GuMiho as a player that would be willing to go for a one-base all-in. Bunny, less so. Yeah, waiting for the resources, and there's that CC on the high ground. So, high ground command center. Bunny playing safe. Again, Bunny doesn't know what kind of opener GuMiho went for. He is in the dark. Reaper moves in. SV is here to tank. But there are 2 Reapers waiting. And with that, the SV does fall. GuMiho has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Thankfully, he didn't face check with his own Reaper. Otherwise, that would have been the end of the Reaper. Meanwhile, back at home, GuMiho going for an early Tech Lab. Okay. Tech Lab is already in production. I would imagine for an add-on swap. There's that 1-1-1 setup. Reapers, they poke in. They confirm the add-ons. And they attempt to get 1 SCV, and they... Oh! Will get it. 1 SCV goes down. A Reaper is always going to get cleaned up. There's the add-on swap. We're going for the Tech Lab on the factory. Likewise, across the map, add-ons are still on the way. So we have the early Cyclone. Early Cyclone from GuMiho. Instead, Bunny invests into extra Hellions, and I don't really see them being too useful here. He can try to force his way up the ramp, though. Yeah, can attempt to. Trying to force some some splash damage. He will get the first Hellion, but he will trade 1-1. And with that, GuMiho does hold. Does hold on. We now have the Cyclone on the way for Bunny. GuMiho now with the faster base, with the faster mules. And GuMiho going for Banshee. No cloak yet, but he's going into 1-1-1, going into Banshee play. Meanwhile, Bunny opening up Raven instead. Okay. Going for Raven play. Bunny doing something more standard, is what I will say. Going into tank. Oh, making another Cyclone, but eventually going to tank Raven, I would imagine. Ravens have a lot of value, especially in the early to mid game. In all game states, really, in TVT. And GuMiho rushing into a 3rd CC, so a very fast 3rd base, very greedy build here from GuMiho. Remember, it was a Rax Expand, and now into a 3rd CC after the Starport. Pico does move out. Just the 1 Banshee. And of course, he's making it up. Of course, I should have brought this up as well. For those of you that were watching DreamHack, for those of you that were watching the EWC qualifiers, you will know that GuMiho played a lot of TVTs in those qualifiers. Again, it was just full of Terran. We saw GuMiho against Cure, against Bunny as well, against Ryung, and we saw mostly mech. He played some bio, don't get me wrong, but it was mainly mech out of GuMiho, so we are expecting a lot of mech here tonight as well. Bunny is willing to play mech, but he's more of a bio player traditionally. Yep, add-on. Oh, never mind. I was expecting an add-on swap to stem. No, we just pull away and we are meching it up. So mech versus mech. You know, they teased us with game 1 having like a 5-minute game. Here, nah. Strap yourselves in. Let's go. Now, there are different forms of mech, of course. As we do scan, we confirm all the factories, so GuMiho is aware of what's going on. But we could, of course, embrace battle mech. That is something that GuMiho is a little bit more fond of, but so far, there we go, tank production is underway, so never mind. No Macville accelerators, no cyclones, just pure tank out of GuMiho. Bunny doing the same. Oh, no, okay, thank God. Bunny, he does make a wave of tanks first, then into battle mech. Into Macville accelerators, into mass cyclone, Hellion, into a more diverse or more active form of mech instead. Thank God. At least from one player, not quite from the other. GuMiho is going for the more traditional, just tank and Viking. Just tank, Viking, Hellion. So this is more of a slower form of mech. Slowly breaking out, expanding, taking a 3rd base. This also makes the faster 3rd base for GuMiho more deadly. A meching player typically has a lower base count and has a little bit less map control, but that is being stripped away from Bunny to rush into this, not just a 3rd, 4th CC on location. GuMiho, he's being so greedy, and this is terrifying. Like, being this greedy while playing mech as well, this should not be possible, this should not be allowed. This is illegal, papi, and it's on Bunny to punish. It's on Bunny to punish GuMiho, and Bunny still does not move out. He still has no idea what's going on, doesn't know how fast the 3rd is, he has no idea how fast the 4th is either. And if Bunny doesn't punish, then GuMiho is going to snowball out of control. So the pressure is on Bunny right now. Now, thankfully, with these Ravens, even though Bunny has a lower tank count, these Ravens provide him the ability to dive, right? He has disables, he has the interference matrix, he can break through some siege lines, and he can break GuMiho. But here we go. Here comes the army. How many tanks? 3. 3 tanks are spread out. They're Vikings, that is true. Ooh. And here come the disables. Gets 1, gets 2. And with that, both tanks are going to be going down. Bunny trying to get through the third tank as well. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Vikings overwhelm. And from here, Bunny can then land. And he will break this expansion. Yeah, there's not enough here for GuMiho. GuMiho was just so greedy. Insanely greedy. Now we have a landed Vikings. Denies the third. Pushing in towards the natural. Remember, GuMiho, he took a fast fourth and a fast third base. It was crazy. Once again, boys being pulled. Meanwhile, the tank is gonna go down to the Cyclones. There's one tank left on the high ground. Sorry, I should say 2 tanks. Bunny trying to force his way through. Gets 17 SCV kills. Does rush up the ramp. Takes down the tank. And GG gets called. GuMiho, he is broken. Bunny does punish. And Bunny ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. We have had nothing but extremes so far. We had game 1, which was just hyper cheese, hyper aggression. Game 2, GuMiho, hyper greedy, going for one of the greediest builds you can go for. Again, ranks expand, truth, then into a 3rd CC after Starport, then into a 4th CC after that. It was insanely greedy. And thankfully, Bunny did punish. Bunny, he was able to move out. He didn't really know what he was moving into. He didn't know how greedy GuMiho was. Just moved that across the map, and it was like, oh, I see, you have almost nothing. I guess I'll just kill you. And he did. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Bunny does tie things up, and now we are getting into the ace match. We're getting into game 3 to determine who will take a lead, or who will take the series, who will claim it. So far, it's actually been quite a fast series, I'll be honest. Despite mech versus mech, again, because one player did go battle mech, they had the opportunity to be more aggressive and to punish their opponents, and Bunny did. And now we're getting into the ace match. Gonna be on Tokamak. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing SAUL Esports. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Go. And welcome one all to Tokamak. Tokamak, of course, being one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, but more defensive as well. Known for longer games. And after all we just saw in the last game, and reminding me, of course, of the tendencies of GuMiho, and now showing us what Bunny is also capable of. It's funny. I'm tempted to say that we're probably going to get into mech here from both sides. And this time, GuMiho is going to have a higher chance of defending, a higher chance of being at least somewhat greedy. I'm hoping it's not as greedy as last game. Like, going for the faster third, sure. The faster fourth base, I mean, calm down, baby, calm down. So it's a little bit of greed, I feel like is viable here, more so than on other maps. And yeah, we'll see what GuMiho goes for. We're expecting mech. From the side of Bunny, could play Bio still. Could play Bio. Oh boy. So now, economic opener out of GuMiho, economic opener out of Bunny. Again, as we mentioned, this map is large, it's known for macro, known for more economic tendencies, and that's what we're seeing here and now. So far, so standard. No one is being hyper aggressive. Have our factory follow-up. Interesting. So GuMiho does go for a second Reaper. Bunny instead, he will only go for one single Reaper. And we have the faster factory here out of Bunny going into the reactor on the high ground as well. Does mean that GuMiho will have the Reaper advantage. And we'll see what he can get done. So he does poke in. Will threaten. They will trade out SCVs. But overall, I believe Bunny does get the better end of the trade. Will lose another SCV though. Okay, not bad. CC is delayed. But he will kill the Reaper. Reaper goes down. The backup Reaper is on the way. Bunny getting to his own 1-1-1. Meanwhile, GuMiho, that is a third CC before Star. If you recall, Last game, I did say that was like the greediest build you can go for. I stand corrected. You know, GuMiho, he heard the stream. He's like, no, I'll do you one better. 3rd CC before starport in a TBT. This, I get, okay, so technically, you could go like Rax expand into expand before factory, I suppose. But this is insane greed regardless. CC before starport, even faster than last game. Even faster. But I will say that again, you can get away with this a little bit more in Tokamak. So it's like this is more understandable. Like I can forgive. Yeah, it's Tokamak. It's okay. And this is when he throws out another CC as well. Jesus. GuMiho, he's like Spirit's animal. If you know, you know. But behind this, we are going into Raven production once again from the side of Bunny. Is committing to additional Hellions. Interesting. So he will have a Hellion dive available to him. Tank production going to be underway. Never mind, opening up Cyclone first. Building up Vikings. Tech Lab on the racks. I would imagine for... never mind, add-on swap. Okay. never mind. From here, Reaper dives in. Reaper does get a full scout, does confirm the 3rd CC. Yeah, big moment here for Bunny. Bunny now fully aware of what's going on. He does confirm how greedy GuMiho has been and how does he respond. But now, extra factories. Extra factories are on the way. It looks like we're setting up for the same kind of style. And yeah, now we have a scan. And GuMiho now knows. He sees all the factories. He sees the Ravens. He sees the what should be tank production. We see it's Cyclones. And we are waiting for Macville accelerators. So once again, mech versus mech. GuMiho already landing his 3rd base already. Insane. Bunny, he moves out. He will shut down the Hellions. We'll shut them down. Chasing down the Cyclone as well. Lock on the opposing Cyclone, and he will bring it down. Ooh. Yeah, just barely. There's the auto turrets going for the tank. One more auto turret to bring it down. And barely, it looks like it will fall. And with that, the 3rd base is denied. It was a bit of an even trade here in a sense, but this is still more valuable for Bunny. Bunny, what did he lose? He lost 1 Cyclone. He lost a Cyclone. He lost Hellions for a tank, a Cyclone, delayed 3rd. We'll see what more he can get done. As Bunny's building up towards Macville accelerators, more Viking production. Now, thankfully, this time, GuMiho, he isn't rushing into a 4th CC, so he will have a stronger defense here. Did lose a tank, but he's building up nothing but tanks. Tanks and Vikings. Ravens are good, but, I mean, they can't do anything if they can't get close to the tanks. That's where the Vikings come in. So they're here to buffer, they hit the zone. If need be, they can also land. They can land to protect the tanks. Bunny amassing his forces. Go. Vikings are in position. We'll see if they can focus on that Raven. Bunny moving in, going for the dive, does disable 1. Just gets 1 disable though. Yeah, just the 1. And with that, I believe GuMiho should be able to hold on. I say that, yeah, there's still 3 tanks behind this. Vikings pushing forward. That's hard, putting in a lot of work. It does put in a lot of work. It's going to be close. But still other repairs. The repairs popping off as well. And GuMiho barely holding on. Does hold on, but the tanks are within range of the CC. Behind this, Bunny getting his own 3rd. GuMiho working his own 4th command center as well. Bunny, he needs more damage. Bunny, he's behind economically. Again, Bunny, he needs to punish. Let's see any scans. He does need to maintain that vision. Raven still gathering energy. Another tank moving forward. Likewise, barely out of range. Yeah, the third force to lift. GuMiho, he cannot engage. Oh. As behind the scan, sees the fourth command center. Bunny, he's aware. And Bunny currently is catching up. Oh, cheeky move, I think within range of this tank. Barely not. Tanks are setting up. Bunny, he's almost expanded, just now getting up and running. Just now getting it up. Giving you a force to expand elsewhere. When it comes to our overall Viking count, it is slightly in favor of Bunny. So he has more Vikings, he has more Cyclones as well. He has more tanks. What does GuMiho have? He has more SCVs, but they're not really mining too efficiently here. GuMiho is spreading himself thin. Bunny, he won't quite be able to deny both bases. Oh, as he will soon, yeah, confirm. Now he knows. Where the expansion. From here he can push forward, there's no tank. Oh. Now Bunny playing it safe. Does play it safe, does pull away. Doesn't try to force his way into the bases. Rotates over instead. Does see the tank line, he's going for the dive. Disables one. So it was just the one. There's still two more tanks, but only two more. Yeah, with that Bunny, he will break this. He will break the siege line. 3 tanks go down. And with that, he can just keep pushing forward. He's a little bit late to do so. GuMiho getting in position. But not to save the... No, yeah, he can't save the base. He cannot save the expansion. Not like this. With that, the CC may just go down. Oh my god, one more volley. That's a kill. Yeah, killing the CC. GuMiho, he scans, sees the third base of Bunny. Once again, GuMiho just being punished for his greed. Yeah, and we just land. GG gets called, and Bunny, he will take the series 2-1, taking down GuMiho. GG. Whew. GG, well played. GuMiho was so greedy this series. It was insane greed. As I mentioned before, like I could understand it a little bit more here on Tokamak, less so on Ultra Love, 100%. Far less so. But here on Tokamak, we saw that he was still even more greedy than just claiming his third base, but rushing into a fast fourth as well. And with that, Bunny, thankfully, from the side of our red Terran player, from the side of Bunny, he was able to scout, able to confirm how greedy GuMiho was being here in that last game, and that did kind of initiate his own aggression, right? He knew to move out, he knew to strike then and there, knew to hinder the third base, and he was able to do so just barely. Not just the third, the fourth as well. GuMiho was just unable to fortify either location. GG. GG, well played. As Bunny does punish the greed of GuMiho. And with that, that's our first series. Our first series does wrap up. Again, a bit of a shorter one. We did have a back and forth technically, and it did go to the ace match, but I'll be honest, some shorter games are all there. In the end, Bunny does make it to the winners match, but now we here to determine who faces off against Bunny in that match. Up next is going to be a Terran versus Zerg matchup. Up next is going to be SHIN versus ByuN in a ZVT. Let's go. There's a lot of history between these two players. Again, if you're familiar with our channel, with the online weeklies, you'll know that SHIN and ByuN, they face off many times throughout the weeks, throughout the week even, as they play very often in these open tournaments. SHIN, I would say he's one of the more active Zerg players, more so than Rogue, and I would say more so than Solar as well when it comes to how often he plays in online open cups. ByuN plays in as much as he can, so because of that, they face quite often in those tournaments, and they trade back and forth as well. Like SHIN and ByuN, they have a lot of history with each other, they have a lot of experience with each other, and that can often lead to some more awkward game states and some more mind games going on as well. We'll see how they do face off against each other, as game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. Let's go. let us go. As we have our series, and again, Bunny is waiting for the winner of this match. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the only Zerg player in this group. He's surrounded by Terrans. He's on the couch. Oh no. We'll see if he can make it through the group. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg for Weibo Gaming. It is a SHIN. For Weibo Gaming. Let's go. So we're getting into our ZVT. Now, I did mention earlier that SHIN, he is known for going into roach-based openers and for trying to rush into hive tech. I do expect to see that here. I do expect to see that at some point in this series, but do we see it on Tokamak? Now, when it comes to that roach-based style and roach-based opener, it is very safe and it is often seen on smaller maps. I'm referring to maps like Ultra, referring to maps like Persephone, referring to maps like Torches as well. On larger maps though, like Maganatha or like Tokamak, this is where going into Lingbane is a lot more accessible, a lot more viable, and we could see SHIN go into something like Lingbane, not into roaches. So we'll see. We shall see. What's going to happen to the closed qualifier if Showtime qualifies for EWC via Star Zagora? I think you're referring to the global qualifier. I would imagine that the seed for one of the players, regardless of whether a European or a Korean player makes it through, it will just go to the next player in line, right? When it comes to the regional qualifier. So I believe for Europe that would be God, who would it be? Lambo, right? So for Europe it'd be Lambo because Lambo, he lost a tiebreaker to Hero Marine, and for Korea it would be Creator. As Creator, he lost a tiebreaker to a Terran player. Was it a GuMiho? I have to double check. Esports World Cup, Korean qualifier, tiebreaker. Yeah, lost it to GuMiho. So for the Korean side, I would assume that Creator would fill that spot, and for the European side, it would be Lambo. If you're asking for that situation. Here we go. From here, we do have our standard opener here by ByuN with said Marine. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, my apologies. I was a little distracted. Behind this, no Reaper. Did go Marine first. With this Marine first, he's going to be able to hold on. Despite that, SCVs are under fire. Mining is going to be denied. One SCV does go down, so a nice pick off here initially by SHIN. Again, ByuN did skip his Reaper, and I believe he skipped his SCV. Yep, skipped his SCV scout as well. Meanwhile, early Roach Horn out of SHIN. If you recall, I was referring to how on a larger map like this, we might see some more Lingbane aggression, but no, that is not the case. Very early Roach Horn, so this is going to be for an early Roach push. This doesn't have to be all in. This could just be an 8 to 9 Roach timing, then droning up behind it. Meanwhile, ByuN playing safe, going for 1-1-1 into Cloak Banshee before the CC. Very good read here by ByuN. So this is much more aggressive, much more assertive, and you could argue in this situation much more safe here from ByuN because Banshee production is going to be much earlier than normal. Oh boy. ByuN doesn't really know what's going on. SHIN, he also he might have caught a glimpse of that starport. So we'll see what he can get done. But again, basically, there's no third. There's no third base here from ByuN. There should be, but there isn't. Because there isn't, there's already a Banshee. The first Banshee has already arrived. And remember, this not all in. I did mention that we should be moving out with, I was assuming it was going to be 9, but it's going to be 11. So a little bit more of a commitment here. Yeah, with 11 roaches moving out, and then we drone, right? Then SHIN, he's droning up, he's saturating. This is designed to get damage done, but I don't know if it really will. It gets spotted, and yeah, the Banshee reveals itself. Like, this does nothing. This is a hard counter. Yeah, the roaches are shut down. Now, some of them do slip by. Hellions are diving in. Roaches are trying to keep up, and they just commit into the mineral line. And Shin, he's not in position. Hellions, they bust in. Drones are getting roasted, and this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, getting out of control. Now, thankfully, Shin did slip by with a handful of roaches. They're hitting the natural as we speak. And we'll see what they can get done. As Hellions, they get 6 drone kills. Roaches, they will get 1 SCV. They can maybe get 3? Maybe? Okay, yeah. They get 3 workers. They get 4 towards the end. And from here, ByuN, he's in a much stronger position here as he has gained map control. But the question becomes, this is quite committed here. There's still no third. This is looking more and more like a 2-base all-in. 3-1-1 2-base all-in. We might still go for a very delayed third base, but this is very committed here by ByuN. Remember, the entire time Shin has been droning. But Shin, he has to scout, he has to recognize what's going on here. If he drones too much, then he may just topple over. Queen goes down. Manages to get the queen. The queen count is still quite low. As another queen goes down, again, the queen's getting picked away at. Meanwhile, ByuN, here comes the push. Remember, early stim, early move out. So Shin, he was droning. He doesn't really have much of an army, and he may just lose the third base here and now. Again, we spoke about just how aggressive ByuN is this game. There was no third. Now there is. Now there's a third base on the way, but it's so late, so delayed. And as a result, he makes up for it with the army. Yeah, boys are being pulled. She getting desperate. Oh god, he's gonna lose so many drones. He's gonna lose so many workers. And with that, ByuN, he does it. He breaks on through. He breaks the defensive line here of Shin. All the queens go down, all the roaches as well. There's nothing left to defend. The third base will fall. And this is critical damage. Oh god. As that one tank has done so much, now another tank has arrived. Down goes the third. And again, Shin, he has nothing behind this. He does transfer over. He does save at least some workers at his 4th base. Now his new 3rd. But ByuN isn't done. ByuN is just rallying. He's just rallying across the map. He stims from across the map as well. It's fine. And again, Shin almost hard countered this game. Going for early roaches against a 1-1-1 was brutal. And with that, Shin falls apart. A GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 1. Whew. GG. ByuN does take a lead in this series. Again, winding it back here. ByuN, so what I should say is that standard play here in this matchup is to go for a faster third base before starport to get into a more standard economic game state. For ByuN, there was no third. There was no third. There was one at the very end, but he didn't even need the third base. It was borderline 2-base all in there from ByuN, so very aggressive. And unfortunately for Shin, he was opening up aggressive against that 1-1 setup against early Banshee. And you saw how those Banshees completely shut down the Roach aggression, so the Roaches did nothing. Behind that, Shin, to catch up, to make up for his lack of damage dealt with the Roaches, he droned up as hard as possible. But he didn't realize just how aggressive and how committed ByuN was being. Unfortunately, there was no re-scout into the main, well, there was no scout into the main period, and he was just caught with his pants down. The pants were down for Shin, and ByuN, he was able to go for the kill. Again, just a really good read out of ByuN to assume that Shin would actually be aggressive with roaches, to be honest. Like, that was just almost a hard counter from ByuN. So really, really nice setup, really nice choice of builds. And with that, we're getting into game 2. ByuN has a lead in the series. And we'll see if we see something similar again. I'm curious. Like Shin, he's known for roach play. He's known for roach play. I do think it's really smart to go 1-1-1 against Shin. Do we do it 2 games in a row? We're here to find out. We're here to find out. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of lane lines, we have the blue Zerg player of the South Korean Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. It is Shin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. We go. And again, Shin, he's known for Roach plays, known for Roach openers. So I am fond of the idea of just not just getting into Banshee play, but rushing into Banshee play as well. As we do have a 16 hatch opener here by Shin. Does go for the extractor trick. So this should be hatch pool, correct? Hatch pool late gas. Okay. We'll see how late the gases are going to be. These gasless openers, fun fact, are vulnerable to 111s. Like if ByuN goes for another 111 into that mass Hellion opener with faster Banshees, Shin is gonna have a hard time defending here. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I point to Clem versus Serral. Clem versus Serral last year at EWC. Serral, he was very fond of opening up gasless in a very similar way that we're seeing here. And game after game after game, he was just punished so hard by Clem. Clem just going for 111 openers, diving into mineral lines, roasting up drones. Basically what's happening here, okay, gas is now being taken, but late gas out of Shin. Now, because the gas is so late, what that means, late link speed. It means that link speed is going to be later than usual, and because of that, Shin is going to be more vulnerable to Hellion dives, to Hellion aggression, because he's going to be stuck with slow links for a longer period of time. So there's a window here where he's going to be vulnerable, where he's defending with purely queens and slow links. Now, because link speed is going to be so delayed, a lot of Zerg players from this point forward would just play Roach. They would just skip link speed because it's already going to be late anyway. They just throw down a Roach one and play into Roaches. We'll see if that's the case for Shin. Shin now claiming his third base. ByuN back at home so far. Once again, ByuN, he skips the SCV scouts and he skips the Reaper scout as well. ByuN, he's been so greedy, but last game he had a really good read on his opponent and just, again, essentially hard countered Shin. This time, do we also go for the starport? Looking like that isn't the case. Marines are hunting for overlords, but this is looking like a third CC, as we have the money for it. SCV. This is intentional. We have 500 minerals, by the way. Did we? Okay, 111 from the side of ByuN, and he's going for the bunker. Wow, yeah, he's going for the bunker at the third base. Shin, he will barely, oh, he sees. Ooh, okay, that was close. But Shin, he does barely get eyes on that bunker. He is aware. Queens are moving in. We have slow links moving in. Again, link speed just began. Link speed is a ways away from finishing. But I believe the bunker should be denied. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be close. Oh my god, the SCV is going to be targeted down. And Shin holds. Ooh, Shin, he will hold on. There's that cancel. ByuN shouts us back. The slow links diving in for the surround. ByuN is trading well. And again, without link speed, like, we can kite fairly well here. Here come the Hellions. Oh my god, they have some awkward movement there, but nice shots going off nonetheless. Very nice shots. As Hellions pull away, and again with the 1-on-1, we have more Hellions on the way. We have the Banshee, but this is a faster third CC here from ByuN, faster with the last game. So this is not as aggressive, not as assertive. Remember, last game he went for a second and third racks before CC. This is still aggressive, but the Hellions, they took a lot of hits already. Yeah, this is not as worth it. Cleans up the lings, but he won't roast up as many drones. Or at least he shouldn't. Gets one. Gets one so far. And just the one. You know, link speed was researched. ByuN is aware. He's keeping the Banshee at home. Shit, he's moving out. His goal here is to try to catch up ByuN with his pants down, but ByuN, he is in position. And ByuN is ready. Ready, does deflect. Behind this, going for his own bio setup. ByuN, of course, he's willing to play mech, and he did so last season. I would not be surprised if he does so again. I mean, he has already shown that off in recent times. Shooting off more mech, but not this game. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 5-minute lair timing. Again, the timings are a little bit off just because of the opener, so it's all a little bit shaky, a little bit janky. SHIN is getting fully saturated. Now we're going for a much later Ro12. That's a 5:30 Ro12 timing. But again, like the timings are all just like a little bit off just because of the opener. Just because of the start. Lings, they punish the Hellions. Nice cleanup. Back at home, there's not much to defend actually. Yeah, ByuN, he was just a little bit too careless with that army. Lings move out. Thankfully, there is a full wall. Well, there's going to be no mining at the third. Things that do threaten a dive. They threaten a dive. As SHIN, he is going for a +1 range. There's the infestation bit on the way. Now, SHIN, he has two options here. Obviously, he's rushing to Hive. From here, he can go into +1 melee after +1 range, or there it is. We can go for the Hydra, and we can go into Roach, Hydra, and then rush into Lurker Tech with Hive Tech Lurkers and Viper production as well. So it does look like SHIN is working towards Lurker Tech. He's getting there. Likewise, ByuN is being active. ByuN does move out. SHIN slipping past the army. Headed towards the bases, but ByuN, he has reinforcements. His production's ready. He does defend. He does hold. Meanwhile, SHIN building up his own upgrades here. Infestation bit is done. We should be seeing that Hive momentarily. Safety infestors first, okay. I'm all for it. ByuN is zoning SHIN away. SHIN, he's in a bit of trouble here. Now, thankfully, he does have those infestors in production, but until then, he's in danger. Bearing in mind, the soup does lie. Like, he has inflated supply with all those roaches. Lings, they do get into the mineral line, though. SCVs are going to be going down. At least they should be. There we go. SCVs are falling. Files, they graze the Marines. That's still a lot of Marines. Yeah, the tank line is brutal. It is a little bit far back. Oof. Once again, very brutal. Brutal volleys. Nice fungal. Oh my god, the fungals. Yeah, fungal does connect, and with that one fungal SHIN, he will hold. Whew. Shuts out the army, forces ByuN back, does punish. And can he keep going? Not quite. But nice defense nonetheless. Now we have the Hive halfway done. No Lurker Den yet. And still only the two infestors. The one fungal. But again, that one fungal growth, can it make or break a fight for him? Oh, the infestor. The infestor! Oh no! The tanks! Ooh, the infestor goes down. No fungal. And SHIN, I'm not so sure he can take this fight. Does push forward. And Marines are coming to reinforce. Does get one of the tanks. One tank does go down. And so does the second. Not bad. Yeah, without the tanks, the Marines, they cannot hold their own. Not like this. More reinforcements on the way. Going into Widow Mines. A bit of a misread here from ByuN. Especially against what would be Lurker Tech. But nice outer stepping. Does outer step in. Does punish. There's a lot of Ravagers going down. Do we have another fungal? Not yet. Oh god. ByuN does pull away though. Does pull away. Lurker Den is in production. And at this point, ByuN should not be aware. After seeing all those Hydras, he should be aware we do need tanks instead. Again, Widowmines are amazing against Link Bane. They're amazing. But against Roach, Hydra, Lurker tech, they're less so. ByuN is being somewhat active, just causing a distraction. ByuN keeping Shin's attention here on the right hand side. Meanwhile, here comes a drop, going for the tank. Oh my god. Going for the Hydrogen even. Yeah, nice pick up. Hydrogen goes down, catching up some reinforcements as well. Going for +2, going for 2 upgrades even, going for both of them. And again, Shin completely out of position. He's racing on over. Roaches are going down, Lurkers are denied, getting the expansion, getting the mineral, getting everything. ByuN, calm down. He is going to be cleaned up, but this is well worth it as he breaks through on the right hand side, cleans up the army, breaks through into the Hydras. There's one Lurker left. There's a scan. Lurker goes down, and ByuN, he just overwhelms. He just overwhelms. Takes down the mineral line, takes down the expansion. There's that one fungal, and with that fungal, Shin, he should hold on, but he loses another base. Another base goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, we have 3 upgrades on the way. Plenty of Marauders as well. Can go for another expansion, but now trading with the Roaches. Happy to trade. We have the Ghost production or Ghost Academy on the way behind this. Getting to Ghost. Honestly, he doesn't need it though. He doesn't need it. He's doing so much already. Do have the Infestor on the way. But so far, the Widowmines, they've kind of held their own when it comes to zoning the army, or at least trying to punish the army for chasing. They have held their own. They have paid for themselves. The fungal was a little bit lackluster. Hydrogen has to be rebuilt. Oh god, the Lurkers are exposed. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Lurkers are going down one after the other. With that nice fungal here on the main army. And ByuN looks like he will break the expansion once again. GG gets called. ByuN, he will completely overwhelm, and ByuN will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Some more unusual builds here from Shin, both in game 1 and in game 2. I say unusual, some more risky styles at times, but again, ByuN did a great job of punishing. He punished the builds, he punished Shin, I should say, twice, both games in a row, both in game 1 and in game 2. In game 1, of course, it mentioned how Shin, he was rushing into an early Roach Warren, and ByuN shut it down by going for the 1-1-1. Here, likewise, we saw ByuN getting a lot done with his early Hellion harassment. It did open up Banshee behind it, went for very aggressive move outs, and was able to punish his opponent for being too greedy. We saw that Shin, he was trying to work towards Infestors, working towards the Lurkers, but ByuN, he was there to punish time and time again, just before the Infestors came out, and just before the Lurkers came out as well. We saw that Shin just didn't really have much of an efficient army. I would say that Shin was close to stabilizing, and things were still very back and forth between the two players up until the drop of the natural. I'm referring to that was a double, triple drop that was able to slip by, which killed the Hydrogen, both Evo chambers, the natural, a queen, and a couple of drones. Like, it was crazy just how much damage that counterattack did. Again, Shin was completely out of position. He had no creep. That's on Shin. He had 0 creep outside of his natural, so he had 0 vision of it until it already hit his natural base. His army was busy by the, was just kept busy by the main army. And that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the end there. Shin, he was struck down before he got into Lurker tech. ByuN could really kind of mass up his army. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive, very aggressive style there by ByuN. It does punish Shin, it does bring him down, and with that, we have our 2 players advancing on. Let's go. Let's catch up on the group itself. Let's catch up. As we switch our scenes over, and here we go, here we have them. Bunny, God, it happened again. We'll get there. Bunny took down GuMiho 2-1 to advance on to the next round. Again, it was very intense and very fast, a very swift TVT between the two players. Bunny does advance on to the winners match. Meanwhile, ByuN takes down SHIN 2-0. Much more dominant performance there by ByuN, with a much more aggressive style, able to punish SHIN time and time again. And now we have our winners match. It's going to be a TVT between Bunny and ByuN. The ByuN duo, they're at it again. They keep playing against each other. they do keep playing in online tournaments and now in GSL as well. So Bunny versus ByuN is going to be underway. Is going to be our next series to determine the first player to make it into the next round, into the round of 8 in this season of GSL. Meanwhile, we have the elimination match, GuMiho versus SHIN, to determine which is the first player to be knocked out of the tournament in Group B. Oh boy. So again, we are halfway through. Honestly, so far, really fast games. We haven't really, like, despite even the mech versus mech in the TVT, like, the games ended a lot earlier. Same here with SHIN. He was building up and working towards Hive, but he never really got to embrace Hive tech. He never really got to get into his own final form. He was kind of struck down before he could get there, as ByuN was able to be hyper aggressive and hyper assertive. So we'll see if we have, or if we can sink our teeth a little bit more into our next set of matches. We'll see, we'll see. There's a lot to get into there. For now, though, we're halfway through. We're halfway through the broadcast. And we are going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. When we come back, we'll have the second half of the broadcast. We'll have the winners match, the elimination match, and the decider match as well. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the 2025 GSL Global StarCraft League Season 2 Round of 12 Group B. We just wrapped up with our first round of matches, just wrapped up with our first and second series featuring GuMiho, ByuN, Bunny, and SHIN, but now we are here with our winners match. Again, both ByuN and Bunny were able to claim their first wins, and now we're here to determine who will make it first through into the next round, into the round of 8, as we have another TVT. Let's go. Now this should be a very different kind of TVT. GuMiho versus Bunny was riddled with proxies and mech, and here I'd expect this series to be riddled with proxy and only a little bit of mech. So should be a bit of a different dynamic. We'll see as we are jumping into game one. Game one is going to be on ley lines. Let's go. Let us go. Again, of course, both ByuN and Bunny are more than willing to be hyper-aggressive, hyper-assertive. I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen ByuN play mech in TVT before. Like, we've seen ByuN play mech before against Zerg. Sure, that's happened multiple times at this point. Has embraced the mech in other matches. Not in this one, though. But we'll see. There's always a first for everything. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. I almost said ByuN. God. It's spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the blue Terran player from South Korea representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Here we go. Whew. As we're calming down, as we are going to be settling in to our Terran versus Terran. And again, as a reminder, they both do have a second life essentially here. The loser of this series is not out of the group. The loser is going to be knocked down to the decider match. They will have another chance to redeem themselves, another chance to make it through into the next round of GSL. Already, though, a bit of a divergence. We have a double gas opener out of Bunny going for a faster factory. Meanwhile, ByuN opening up 2-Rax Reaper. Now, when it comes to this 2-Rax Reaper opener here, this is designed to hard counter a proxy. So if Bunny was proxying across the map, he'd be completely shut down. But this can also be a little bit aggressive as well. This can also, once we realize that there's no proxy, you can use this to try to delay the CC to try to get some economic damage done early on. But we have actually seen Cure go for a new kind of adaptation of this. We saw this during the EWC qualifiers twice, actually, because there were just so many TVTs during the EWC qualifiers where Cure was going for 2-Rax Reaper, expanding of course, and not stopping, like just continuing just 2-Rax Reaper production, where he would just break through, overwhelm, and deal critical damage to players like GuMiho, to players like ByuN as well. Like, they both did struggle against that. We just don't stop making Reapers, and they'd just be caught off guard. So we'll see how committed ByuN is with this. As he does move out. Likewise, no scouting from either player. There has been no scouting until now. We see Bunny does check the proxy location, does pull back, he expands, and ByuN is here to delay the CC. Ooh, as he does poke in, but he's going to be zoned away. Bunny does hold. Bunny does defend. Behind this, ByuN going for a second gas geyser, going for his own factory. A much later expansion here for ByuN. This is quite committed, actually. They poke in. Do poke in. ByuN does expand. But again, a much later expansion. Bunny so far in position does take some extra hits, though. Yeah, it does take extra damage. As the SCV is under fire so far, trading out. So trading 1 for 1, trading 1 for 2. Yeah, better trade for Bunny. Bunny does hold, he does defend, he does deflect. And Bunny so far does secure his natural. So far, so good. ByuN pulling away. Does pull away. It looks like ByuN, he's calming down. Okay, looks like he's... Oh, no, never mind. He's still making more Reapers. More Reapers are amassing. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, there it is. Does cancel, does pull away, and the aggression has subsided. From here, ByuN just making enough to keep himself safe, and now transitioning out of this into his own starport, into his own tech lab, into his own cyclone, and soon to be tank production. So ByuN is calming down. After the early game, I would say that ByuN, god damn it, I would say that Bunny is ahead. Bunny, he's in a better position. He does have the faster expansion. He has a high worker gun. He has better saturation, faster mules, and of course did take the fight. And behind this, going to his own 1-1-1 setup, Raven into interference matrix on the way. Now, whether or not Bunny does get into mech, still yet to be determined. We have yet to confirm. We have a couple of safety marines, but we could still see additional factories. Oh, meanwhile, ByuN not going for the initial tech lab, but going for the Liberator first. Interesting. Does go for the Liberator. As the armies do poke back. Well, it is pushed back, as it does attempt to poke in. And there it is, second factory mech. So Bunny, he is going to make it up as 2 more factories are on the way. Meanwhile, we do see ByuN, of course, embracing his earlier stim timing. Tech lab on the racks, into stim, into more racks. Okay, now the next question begins. What kind of mech is Bunny getting into? Are we going to get into just a more traditional form of just mass tank Viking? Are we going to go into battle mech and go into mech-fuel accelerators, into Hellion Cyclone? What is the plan? Before we can get there, though, ByuN could try to break through. Yeah, nice lock on to the Cyclone. Cyclone does go down. Nice pickup. Takes on the Cyclone. ByuN is yet to confirm what's going on. Liberator into the main. Mining is going to be denied. Ooh. Getting 1, 2, 3 SCVs. Getting to 4. Yeah, late reaction by Bunny. Does react late. Marines do respond. Yeah, again, there is no Cyclone. Was sniped earlier. And we have to rely on auto turrets. Or I guess going for the disable. Buying enough time for the Marines. They will get here in time, eventually. Eventually. Uh-oh. They do get choked up. There we go. Nice stutter stepping. Marine goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. Nice damage with the Liberator. Getting 4 SCVs and 2 Marines. As ByuN is getting his 3rd base on location. Now, we did see GuMiho punished for his greed in his series, but this I'm okay with. Like, this is not an insanely fast expansion from ByuN. It's a CC after his starport. Just claiming his base. Gaining map control, going for drop play. And it's up to Bunny to keep up. The Bunny to keep up. Speaking of, doesn't away. Doesn't either drop. So far, so good. So to see Bunny trying to make his way across the map towards that 3rd. ByuN not quite in position. The tank line is not quite where it needs to be. The CC is exposed. And the base is going to be denied at the same time. ByuN just get back into the main. At least he attempts to. Tanks are in position. Bunny, he will shut this down. Yeah, cleans up the drop, shuts down the Marines. ByuN, he will lose everything. And the 3rd base is denied. Bunny winning on both fronts. Denies the 3rd. Defends back at home. Solid setup here by Bunny. Again, ByuN, he was more in position to protect his natural and to protect this ramp, but not protect the 3rd. As ByuN is getting a little bit desperate, does go for the Cyclone counterattack instead. Bunny reinforcing. Cyclone's trying to catch reinforcements. Who does work his way through the first tank. There's that disable. Getting 1, getting 2 tanks. Does unsiege in time though. A clutch unsiege out of ByuN. Despite that, Bunny gaining ground, takes out another tank. Now going for the bunker. And ByuN, he's in trouble here. His 3rd base is completely cut off. Yeah, there's no saving that expansion. Base trade? That might be the only way. Either base trade or Trident coming from behind. SCV's going down. Yeah, trying to catch reinforcements or just commit across the map. And how long will it take ByuN to push in? Because ByuN, he knows that he cannot break this position. So he's just racing across the map. Is pushing out. It is his only way. There are some tanks, though. He's pushing into 3 tanks. The rally is here as well. CC almost going down. Oh my god. Taking a lot of damage. There's the scan. I'm sure ByuN is aware that the army's missing. The army should be somewhere. I do think that ByuN could have been a little bit more assertive here. There's only 3 tanks. There's only 3 tanks here and a handful of marauders. Now ByuN is turning around. So I do think that ByuN could break this. Oh. Especially seeing how much freedom he has. Like, we can we can land the Vikings on the tanks. We can break this position. The only thing scaring him is that he doesn't know where the rest of the army is. For all he knows, ByuN could just be waiting for the unsiege. There's a scan. There's nothing here. We can send it, man. We can send it. Kill him. That's ByuN coming in from behind. Uh-oh. Now, that scenario that I mentioned earlier, how for all ByuN knows, ByuN could be waiting for the unsiege. Now it's actually the reality. Now the reality is here. ByuN comes over the surround, but the tanks are in position. There are the auto turrets. Vikings, they attempt to land, but the tanks, they are going to go down. A nice cleanup here from ByuN. He does break through, cleans up every single tank. Yeah, Vikings, they did not land in time, but now we have the second army. Now, second army's moving out. ByuN still has that supply lead. But he's lacking tanks. He's mainly got Vikings, actually. Jesus. 10 Vikings. Tanks are now moving out. And that was an impressive fight there by ByuN with the surround. But ByuN, he should still have enough to break through. Kept the Raven alive. Oh. Boosting in. Full out, and he will lose the medevacs. And that's going to be it. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. He will take a lead in the series again. A really solid play there out of ByuN. We saw ByuN attempt to counterattack, attempt to harass, but overall we saw that ByuN was able to outposition. I'm referring to the first move out where ByuN, he had the tools to defend, but if you remember, his tanks, they were set up at the center ramp, not at the third base. So even though he had like 4 tanks in a bunker in position, it did nothing to protect his third. And with that, ByuN was able to deny the third base, was able to deny mining. Despite the greed of ByuN, he didn't really have the economic lead that he otherwise would have wanted, and ByuN was able to gain momentum from there. Likewise, it wasn't just that. If you remember, he also completely shut down the double drop in the main. Like, the double drop in the main base got maybe a handful of SCVs. Like, it was not worth it there for ByuN. ByuN, he lost too much too quickly. We saw that there was a good fight from ByuN, of course. We saw that ByuN, I would say, was maybe a little bit too reserved, was maybe a little bit too tentative when it came to pushing into the natural. Do you think that he could have done so sooner? Because he didn't, it allowed ByuN to set up for the surround. That was a really good fight for ByuN, but not enough to make up for his losses, right? Not enough to make up for how far behind he was. GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN does take lead in the series, and now we are jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran, leading the series 1-0, representing Team Falcons. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is ByuN. Going for the proxy 2 racks. Let's go. Again, we expected a proxy at least once in this series, maybe even twice as well. But both SUVs are sent across the map, and we are setting up for the proxy 2 racks. Meanwhile, Bunny back at home currently is unaware. His own racks is here in his own main, and we'll see if he opens up double gas. On a map like Persephone, I'm expecting a double gas opener, but our eyes are going to be on Bunny here. Let's go. Is that F2 used? Yeah, a lot of players do use F2. Hero, renowned for it. The GuMiho bit as well. Yeah, it happens. Does happen. Yep, there we go. Double gas opening here out of Bunny. Double gas leads into a faster factory, leads into a delayed CC, but a faster factory is a very safe way to play. So Bunny, he will have the tools to defend. He will have the tools to defend. This is not completely a hard counter. It still comes down to the player micro, the player execution. But so far, things are looking better here for Bunny. As it is proxy 2 racks Reaper. Bunny does go for the safety depot here at the Reaper clip to give him a couple of seconds heads up. There's that factory on the way. So essentially, the win conditioning for Bunny is to defend, to pull the boys, to survive, and to keep that factory up and running until we can get a Hellion. And from the side of ByuN, we'll see if he can pick up the first Reaper. We'll see if he can pick up a couple of SCVs. But the first Reaper would be insane. Ooh, as Bunny, he does move out, and he's checking his scouting. Does he react? Oh, he does pull away. Whew, does pull away in time, and now he can pull the boys. There we go, boys are being pulled. He's here to make a stand. ByuN, where's he headed? Headed towards the ramp. Bunny's at the Reaper cliff. Yeah, he's at the cliff. Does catch one Reaper. Yeah, better big ups. Oh, has to get out of here. Does overextend. Oh, big overextension. Reaper goes down. Massive pickup. Hellion's on the way. A bit of a messy defense here, but the Reapers are low, and Bunny still holds. Whew, Bunny still does hold on, but extra SCVs have to be pulled just because he's now down to 1 Reaper. He's still in danger. He's in danger here. ByuN rotating over. Does rotate. Hellion has arrived. From here, Bunny holds. He should be able to hold on. Yeah, nice Hellion volley goes off. Does defend. And now the game will continue. We have the CC on the high ground. Commence on the high ground for Bunny. ByuN, he has yet to expand. Likewise, he has yet to finish up his factory as well. In general, I would say that Bunny's in a better position, but with all these Reapers that are amassing, there's still a chance for ByuN to maybe pick off a Hellion and still potentially get into a middle line or break this army. Like, this is still a delicate dance. See here, Bunny has to, there we go, getting to his Marines. Attack lab is on the way. ByuN, he's floating back home. And so far, so good. So we have some high ground vision. Reapers are going for the Marines. He gets one. 1 Marine goes down. 2, 3 Marine kills. Not bad. Trading with the Hellions, but oh, the Reapers are lining up. They're lining up. Oh my god, every single Reaper's going to go down. That was not worth it for ByuN. That was a brutal trade, losing 7 Reapers. So 2 Reapers, 3 Marines, and a Hellion. Ay, ay, ay. With that, ByuN, he will lose map control. He is down to 1 Cyclone. Bunny is commencing tank production. And I would say the Bunny is now in a better position. As both players are getting their bases up and running. We have attempted delayed mining. Let's go. Yeah, just being as annoying as he can be. Doing what he can. Cyclone drop. This is getting a little bit desperate. I mean, ByuN is desperate for damage, but this is very risky. Cyclone is in position. Gets a lock on. ByuN's zoned away. Thankfully doesn't commit, as otherwise he would have lost everything. Ooh, and this is a risky maneuver, but I'm all for this. Very fast third. Third base, own location. Remember, ByuN only has 6 SCVs down here on the low ground, but ByuN knows he's behind. He is behind. He has to do something drastic here to catch up in this game. And that answer, that move, is to rush into a third. So this is greedy, but ByuN needs to be greedy here. Behind this mech is on the way from Bunny. Now, we've seen Bunny already against GuMiho, and if Bunny realizes how greedy ByuN is being, then he should go for a cyclone push. He should go for an early move out, an early push. Once his factories get up and running, I would be all for that. As Bunny is poking out, trying to scout.
Add-on complete.
Does into the tanks. Raven moves in. Confirms the bio. But he doesn't check the linear location. He doesn't know. Uh-oh. Nice flank. Very nice flank. Catching up the Raven. Yeah, Raven goes down. Nice pickup. Does get the medevac. Barely not. Medevac does survive. Likewise, nice juggling. Does not save the cyclone. Doesn't save the medevac either. Oh my god. The punish is real, and Bunny, he's pushing, he's committing. Yeah, this is the time. Alas, if he had both Ravens, I think he wins the game. To be honest, if he had both Ravens, I think he disables all 3 tanks, and he can break that position then and there. But now he's down to 1 Raven. So it's not going to be as easy. Still possible. There's a scan. Moves in. Gets 1 disable. Just the 1. There's 2 tanks left. Yeah, 2 tanks remaining. Boys are being pulled. And ByuN, can he pull off his defense? Tank goes down. SCVs, another second tank falls. And with that, looks like Bunny, he might just have too much. Takes out 19 SCVs. And ByuN, he's cut off from his third. He's cut off from the expansion. The Hellions, they're waddling in. The Hellbats. Oh my god. They'll deny the third. ByuN is contained. And again, this is very similar to the GuMiho games. If you weren't here for it, basically GuMiho was hyper greedy against Bunny, and time again he would punish. He would punish, he would move out, he would break GuMiho. And here likewise punishing ByuN as well. Yo, you can't be greedy against Bunny. You can't be greedy. As the boys are pulled, these SCVs are going to go down. I mean, they were dead anyway. ByuN losing 33 SCVs. As we can see, ByuN trying to catch some reinforcements. Cyclone will punish. Oof. And with that, ByuN, who will lose that Viking advantage. Now, behind this, Bunny doesn't have to push in. In this kind of game, say he can just contain it. He's going for it. Never mind. He doesn't need to push in, but he will. Yeah, tanks they siege up. Boys are being pulled. Hellbats, they will fall. That's still, once again, going to be so many SCV kills. Likewise, Ro12 gets targeted. GG gets called. And Bunny, he will claim the series 2-0. And advance on to the GSL round of 8. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Bunny. He will claim the series. A very strong performance here. Bunny embracing his mech and looking very strong in both Terran versus Terran matchups. But once again, there was a bit of a common thread between Bunny versus GuMiho and Bunny versus ByuN. As we mentioned just here in this game, is his opponents being hyper greedy against him. Likewise, his opponents trying to cheese him out as well. Succeeding from the side of GuMiho, if you recall. GuMiho did have that crazy game 1 against Bunny, which did kind of set the pace for the series. But here, Bunny playing safe against ByuN, shut down the Proxy Reaper. Likewise, ByuN being forced to be greedy or being pressured to be greedy and cut corners was punished for that as well. GG. GG, well played. with that. Of all players, Bunny he does make it through in first place. Very impressive, and not something that I was expecting. I'll be honest, like coming into this group, I was leaning more heavily towards players like GuMiho or ByuN or even SHIN, but no, Bunny, he does pop off, he does come out on top, he will make it through in first place, and now we are here to determine who will be the first player eliminated from the group. Oh boy, here we go. So congratulations to Bunny as he does advance on. Meanwhile, up next, we have SHIN versus GuMiho. Now, if you're a ByuN fan, don't worry, don't fret. ByuN is still in the group. He's still in the tournament. ByuN is waiting for the winner of this series, waiting for the winner of SHIN and GuMiho. Let's go. So, waiting for his next opponent. We are jumping into our fresh best of 3 series, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Weibo Gaming WBG. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing SHUL Esports. It is GuMiho. Too much SC2 never, but not enough time to watch it all. That's what I mean. There's just so much. There's so much StarCraft. So much StarCraft going on. I mean, there always is. There always is. Yeah, a lot of StarCraft. Take care, Pappy. Take care. As we jump into our elimination match here, and again, GuMiho, we'll see what he brings to the table. From what we've seen from GuMiho in recent times, though, especially in this matchup, we do expect mech. We expect bio. He does embrace both at times, but coming into Maganatha, I'm leaning more towards the mech side of things. Likewise, SHIN going for a hatch gas pool. SHIN, he wasn't really able to show himself off last time. Again, we just covered SHIN versus ByuN, and again, SHIN, he was shut down and denied before he could get into his game in both game 1 and in game 2 as well. Like, ByuN was just so aggressive, and successfully so. He was able to punish SHIN time and time again, and SHIN just never got into his build. Here against GuMiho, I would imagine he will. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on GuMiho. But again, as SHIN, he was denied being able to play any StarCraft against ByuN. And we'll see how he does approach Maganatha. Of course, the largest map in the map pool is a large map known for longer and later games. And we might even see some players cut some corners as a result. So far though, hatch gas pool, no delayed gases, looking like a standard opener out of SHIN. Now SHIN, he is one that does enjoy embracing Roach play. He's very much so a Roach boy. So we do expect Roach play and Roach openers out of SHIN. We saw them both in game 1 and in game 2 against ByuN. But here in Maganatha, because it's a larger map, we could see something Bane. At least I hope so. Here we go. As we are going to be moving out. So again, standard opener out of SHIN. Likewise, GuMiho back at home going for his own setup as well. We'll see if he goes for a third TC. We'll see. Yep, there we go. Third TC is on the way for the first time tonight. A third TC before Starport. Economic build from a Terran. We did not see this at all out of ByuN. ByuN is going for non-stop 1-1-1s, non-stop aggressive builds. But here, GuMiho is playing standard. And this is where SHIN can thrive. If his opponent's playing standard SHIN, he can pop off. That is where SHIN is at his best. Where he doesn't have to react to his opponent. Where he can do his own thing. Now from here, GuMiho, we can still go into mech. This is going to be 3CC into Starport, into Hellion Banshee play, which can lead into additional factories, or it can lead into additional Raxes. This opener is very flexible, very economic. There's a reason why we often do see it. And we'll see where GuMiho takes us. At the same time, oh, Shin, he did heavily invest into these Zerglings. Link speed is on the way. This is a big investment here by Shin, and if this doesn't get damage done, it's not going to be worth it. He will fall behind. Hellions move out. As they move out, Shin's goal here is that mineral line. He wants those SCVs. As Links they move out. Oh, they do race and try to get on top of that Hellion. So far, good kiting here by GuMiho. Very nice kiting. Yeah, he kites well. He does wall off. He shuts down the Lings. And GuMiho defends. And with that, oh, this is going to set Shin behind. As most of these Zerglings, they could have been drones. They could have been drones. They should have been drones. As now Shin is droning up. He's trying to recover. Lings are shut down. And behind this, no surprise here, it is mech. So second factory, third factory, we are meching it up. Shin is already opening up Roach. Shin, he doesn't scout his opponent, but Hellions are going in for the dive. I mean, this is something you can do because there are no Zerglings, because they were thrown away. Yeah, 0 Zerglings to defend. Queens are trying to keep up. Drones are going to get roasted. Oh, they're lighting up. Oh my god. So far, 5 drone kills getting to 7. Yeah, 7 drones, and whew, thankfully only 7. That could have been so much worse. But again, that is still worth it for GuMiho. Sniping 7 workers. That does pull away. So I would say just overall a stronger start for GuMiho. GuMiho, he was able to shut down the Ling run by. He was able to shut down the economy as well. GuMiho is ahead economically as a result. And now embracing battle mech. Shin is in a rough position. And that is the risk you take when you go for those Ling run-bys. When you go for those Ling floods. Here's the risk you take. $48 to $51 workers. I mean, again, that's because, I mean, it's not just the economic damage, but again, all those Zerglings, as you mentioned, they could have been drones as well. So there's just been so much economic damage dealt here to Shin, both direct and indirect. It's been brutal. So Shin, he has a lot of catching up to do. Likewise, GuMiho, he's aware of the Roach play, and he should double down and invest heavily into Cyclones. Not just Cyclones, but we just see Hyperlight Rotors as well. Again, if you've been watching ZVT as of late, especially when it comes to players like GuMiho, players like Maru as well, players like ByuN, when it comes to their mech style, mixing in, and Ryung, and mixing in these Cloak Banshees can be really, really effective when it comes to sniping some high-tech units, specifically Ravagers and Infestors. It can be very key here when it comes to sniping said units. As Banshees, they're trying to maintain map control. Hellions out of position completely. The Lings, they get across the map. They force out the auto turrets. So far getting 2 SCVs, not bad. And forces GuMiho back home. Does force him back. Ooh, this is a little bit messy by Shin. Shin, he's going into Hydra production, but also going to melee upgrades, range upgrades. I mean, the double upgrades are fine, but he's going Roach Hydra instead of Lingbane Roach Ravager. Bold move. I mean, the Hydras, they will help against the Banshees. There'll be some anti-air, another Ling run by on the way. Once again, GuMiho not quite in position. Once again, SCVs are going to go down. So far, getting another 3, getting another 4 SCVs. Hellions, they almost get surrounded. 5, 6 SCV kills. Oh my god. Yeah, 11 SCVs going down. Very to 14. 15, 16. Oh my god. Gets almost the entire mineral line, and just like that, Shin, he's recovering. Shin, he's recovering. Again, far too often now, despite having this Zelnaga tower, of course, we just have been missing these run-bys time and time again. Twice now. So Shin is back. Shin is back in this. Banshees move out. Shin maxing out on Roach Hydra. And here he comes. Here comes Shin knocking down those rocks. His goal here is to break the expansion without any tank production here. I don't know if GuMiho can hold on. Like, GuMiho, sure, he's on 4 bases, but the army is lacking. And the army's not there. Shin moving in. Oh. Nice anti-armor missile. Missile goes up. Hellbat's morphing in. They're going to be shut down almost instantly, though. And Roaches are going for the dive, going for the Cyclones. Nice kiting here from GuMiho. Does kite back. Takes down a good amount of those Roaches. But there's still just so many more behind this. Yeah, Shin stutter stepping in. Takes down the Hellbats. Going on top of the Cyclones as well. Has to pull away. And throughout all this, Shin, he's in the middle line. He's in the middle line. The SCVs are falling. And GuMiho just being torn apart. GuMiho, he had a strong start. But the Ling run-bys, they were crazy. And from here, Shin can just pull away, remax, rebuild. He's on 80 workers, on a solid economy. GuMiho James with Shin. Shin is maxed out. Once again, stutter stepping in. Forces back those Hellions. Rotating here in towards that 4th. The Cyclones do punish. This time, a lot more value here out of GuMiho. Very nice lock-ons. Oh, Jesus. A better fight. GuMiho, he's here to punish, and he will. Oh, he's taking out so good on the lock-ons. Yeah, lock-ons, they persist. Oh, God. And so many Roaches go down. Now Hydras as well. GuMiho, despite being forced back to the side, losing a mineral line, GuMiho, now he's back in this. Okay. The Cyclones, they punish. We spoke about this earlier. My concern here, going Roach Hydra is very committed, very all in. Zerglings, their role when it comes to this composition is to tank lock-ons, but if you lack Zerglings, then these lock-ons, they are brutal. Now there's nothing to bait out the lock-ons. Now when the lock-ons, when they connect, they get value. Like, they kill. We have an Infestor on the way. 2 Infestors. Once again, Shin bleeding out Roaches. Infestors are coming in for a flank. We're going to lock down the army. And with that now, Shin is being outscaled. Like, Shin, he's being outscaled here. He still has a bit of a lackluster army compared to what GuMiho has. GuMiho going just pure Cyclone. We have the Fusion Core on the way. I believe that this should be for Battlecruiser, for BCs. Yeah. Tech Labs on the starports, getting ready for BC production. And right now, there's no good answer to Battlecruisers. There is a Spire on the way, thankfully, so there's going to be access to some Corruptors. But Shin, he had to end the game earlier. He had to end it. As with this, GuMiho moving in. Likewise, it does get into the mineral line. Banshees, they're popping up as well. 15 drones going down. Oh, yeah, late reaction from Shin. Late, he does pull away too late. Losing more workers. Again, the speed Banshees, they're popping up. And Shinny's stuck with pure Hydra. Like, this is not... this is not an army built to fight against Battle Mech. Not like this. And Infestor goes down. There's maybe 1 left. Yeah, 1 Infestor remaining. Shin is just going to get bullied from here. Tanks through Siege. Punishing Shin. Moving further out. And yeah, the Hydras, they still have no buffer, they still have no support. With that, every single Hydra's going to go down. GG gets called, and GuMiho, he will overwhelm. He will survive the early game aggression, and he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a very shaky game for both players. If you remember, initially, SHIN was in a rough place. SHIN, he was behind. SHIN, he lost his Ling run by his Ling flood initially. He was punished by losing drones across the map. SHIN, he fell behind. Then he recovered by his own Ling run by himself. Was able to get into the third base twice and just wreak havoc and kill so. I want to say he killed like 20 SCVs in total. It was insane damage how much he dealt at the third base of GuMiho. So he was back in it. He was then able to basically commit into what looked to be an all-in, like 3.5 base to 4 base all in with Roach Hydra, and he did do a lot of damage. It was impressive. He got into the middle lines. He was trading well against the army, but then he was stuck on Roach Hydra and he wasn't able to get out of it. We saw that GuMiho, he survived. He was able to recover, able to have more efficient fights and efficient trades against the Roach Hydra. As you mentioned, specifically against Battle Mech, like Roach Hydra doesn't really scale too well. Whenever we see that, we expect the game to end soon, because in a longer game like the Cyclones, they just gain so much value. They're just so much more efficient in nature here. As I was emphasizing previously, like typically against this kind of army, you need Zerglings, and again, they're not really built to kill much. I mean, they can surround, I suppose they can, but they're built to tank, right? They're built to waste lock-ons from the opponent. Here, not a single lock-on was wasted. No, they killing roaches and hydras was brutal. It's crazy. GG. GG, well played. With that, GuMiho takes the lead, and now we are jumping to game number 2. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. What's going on with your shirt in the background? My shirt is green. Unfortunately. So basically my background is a green screen and my shirt is green, so I'm blending into the chains. That's no. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening. Oh no. I'm chained up, Pappy. I'm chained up. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into our next game. We're continuing the series here, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have our South Korean Terran player, our Red Terran, representing SACL Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is SHIN. Throw down the shirt. No, take it off. Get me banned. You're all animals. You're all animals. I love watching GuMiho playing mech, but why is he so greedy all the time? I mean, he wasn't too greedy. I think I would agree. I mean, that's what makes him fun. He is greedy very often. I would agree. He's I was about to like try to refute that, but nah. He's often quite greedy. But that's what makes his style that much more explosive as well. Playing mech while being greedy, like that's a dangerous combination, and if he can get away with it, then he will snowball out of control. He'll look like a beast. But at times he can be punished, and he was being punished last game. If you were here earlier against Bunny, he was punished heavily, multiple times by Bunny as well. That is the risk you take, for sure. But that's why we love him. GuMiho, he's an animal. He's an animal. But he's not afraid to show it. That's the thing. He's he embraces it. He likes it. As SHIN does open up Hatchcast pool into a third standard opener out of SHIN. Standard opener. It's a family show. Exactly. Aye. As from here, we do have our third CC before starport. So once again, we have the same opener we saw last game. Once again, same opener, at least for the time being. This doesn't have to lead to mech. This could lead into a starport, into a second and third ranks, into ByuN instead. And GuMiho, he does play ByuN. Like, I should emphasize that as well. What's dangerous about GuMiho isn't that he plays mech, it's that he can play mech. It's that he can still play and embrace ByuN play very effectively and very well. He can be unpredictable in that way. So we'll see what he goes for. Of course, he could just mech it up anyway. True. Possible. Possible. So now SHIN establishing his own third. Behind this, going to his own Banshee play, and once again, SHIN, do you see what I see? 10 lings. 10 lings are on the way. Just like the last game, it does look like SHIN is planning to go for what looks to be a ling run by. It's only 10, not 14. We'll see. We'll see if he moves out. As far as keeping up with the Hellions. Backing up those lings. Just making sure he's safe against a dive. And that is not a Banshee. Raven opener, a rare sight. Let's go. Raven opener here in TVZ. This is a rare sight. This is typically coinciding with mech, by the way. The purpose of the Raven opener is to deny creep. It's basically so you can save scans. You can just mule to your heart's content, save scans, and just focus on denying as much creep as possible. And there it is, a second factory. We're meching it up, which does coincide with the Raven opener. So Raven opener into mech, into delayed Banshee. So we're still investing into Banshees. The Link Scout does confirm, checking the Visionaire SHIN. He does get eyes on the second factory, so he knows. And here come the Hellions. Here comes the aggression. Already catching out some tumors. Likewise, the Raven can also support the Hellions in case they get surrounded with that auto turret. Catching out 3 more tumors. And again, the purpose, the goal here for GuMiho is just keep rotating, keep denying tumors as often as possible. Behind this, going into Mass Factory, into Macville Accelerators, third CC is already on location. Already there. I had to pick and choose. Going for the base, it looks like he will force a cancel. Yeah, nice pickup, denies the base, takes out all the tumors. Ooh, and Shitty's going for the all-in. Do you see what I see? Overlord speed. Oh, we're loading up. We're calling up the taxi. German taxi is coming. SHIN, he is gearing up. He's not droning. His cutting works at 60. That is under 3 base saturation. You can see here the third base not even saturated. So he's not droning up. It does pull away his workers. Roaches are building. Now these all-ins can kill mech players early on, especially if they're trying to like build up and work towards a more tank-heavy composition. As we're getting into Cyclones, though, we'll see. We'll see if SHIN can break a GuMiho. Lings get spotted. GuMiho responds. He's racing back home. 4CC. Sorry, yeah, 4CC is going to be delayed. Getting a 4th base against a 2.5 base all-in. Like. Hey, GuMiho, calm down, baby, calm down. He doesn't know. He has been unable to scout the drop lord right down mid. The Lings, they will distract. And they're keeping GuMiho busy. He will shut them down, but he will not spot the all-in. He doesn't see this coming. GuMiho cleans up all the Zerglings. The Roach Queen has arrived. Going for the third. The boys are being pulled, diving on top of the queens. So far, there are some transfuses, but yeah, not good enough. Nice auto turrets. Queens are forced back. Roach Ravager as well. And GuMiho, he's shutting this down. Yeah, the Roach Ravager does not. Oh no, the queens! Get out of here! Oh, drop load goes down. The queens fall, and GuMiho holds. GuMiho, he does hold on. He didn't even know what was happening, by the way. He was getting a fourth CC. He had no idea that an all-in was coming. He's like, oh my god. He shuts it down, deflects it. It's like, that was crazy. So let's go. Let's just walk across the map. And SHIN is in a rough position. SHIN, he's down in drones. Remember, he cut worker production, right? He was all in. There was no droning at his fourth base. So late saturation by SHIN, late Bailey nest, late upgrades. He has 0 upgrades. Now working on the infestation pit. Everything here is late for SHIN. He is vulnerable, and GuMiho is going to punish. He is here to punish. Takes down all the tumors. Still has to respect those roaches. SHIN, he's supply blocked. He gets spotted. Banshees, they will zone him back. And from here, GuMiho just has to chill. Getting his fourth up and running. Building up more Cyclones, more Banshees, more Hellions. Just macroing up. He rotates, denies more creep. Denies more tumors. Still containing SHIN. And GuMiho from here just has to play it safe. Just play it safe. He's in a better position. No need to commit to a push. Now from the side of SHIN, where can we go from here? He's getting his spellcasters. He's working on his hive. Oh, Ravagers are getting caught. Losing one. We can see SHIN taking up into Hydras. Interesting. Might be thinking about Lurker Tech. As Banshees, they find a couple of free Ravagers. Nice fungal. On the Biles. Oh my god. Also do graze the army. Do graze. Yo, we have early game Marines. That were kept alive. Let's go. And GuMiho's max. GuMiho, he's maxed out. He's pushing right down mid. Again, there's no creep whatsoever here. Not in between the bases. As GuMiho was doing a great job at denying creep earlier. Now moving in. Here comes the fungal. Nice fungal. Fungal does connect. Whilst they do graze the army, getting one Cyclone. One Cyclone goes down. And here we go. It's all nothing with SHIN. Once again, decent fungal on the Hellbats. Bailey's gonna roll in. The Hellbats are being shut down. Cyclones have to pull away. And the tanks are exposed. SHIN holds. Whew, SHIN does hold on. Again, that was a bit of a haphazard attack here from GuMiho. Didn't have his entire army. SHIN, he can still pull this off. As tanks are getting called out, so we have 5 more tanks on the way behind this. GuMiho switching into pure tank, which is not what he needs right now. And SHIN is just forces all the way back here, getting another tank as well. GuMiho, he's in trouble. Getting another tank. Another pickup. Tanks are sieged, but they have no support. The other tanks are exposed, they have no supports. Without Cyclones, there's no way to deal with this. Cyclone production now has begun, but he's stuck with all these tanks. He's just stuck with the tanks. They're going down once again. You see GuMiho trying to figure out what to do with the tanks as well. Like, he can't siege. Yeah, boys are being pulled. And SHIN, he has to end the game here and now. Can he end it? Oh my god. Get 17 SCVs. 17 workers. Now we get to the Cyclones. And now GuMiho can fight back. But again, he was just stuck on those tanks for so long. And GuMiho holds. He holds on for now, but he's down in workers. He lost 21 SCVs. Yo. The power play to break the lock-ons. Let's go. But I just thought, like, tanks are good in this matchup, but they do need that support. And if you lack that support, like, tanks, they're vulnerable. They're very vulnerable. They don't really do much. You can see the dynamic change here once Cyclones come back into the mix. Like, GuMiho, he needs those Cyclones. The Cyclones are out. What does he notice? Same time, Ling right here on the right hand side. GuMiho is already recovering economically, but the army size is still getting there. Likewise, nothing to protect this base. The planetary is not done. Planetary is going to be surrounded. 5 SCV kills, not bad. As GuMiho now moving out once again. Are there any infestors? The answer is no. Oof. He has 0 infestors. Now there's no fungal. There's no way to lock this army down. GuMiho is rotating. Again, GuMiho does have that advantage, that army lead. Bearing in mind that SHIN supply is actually smaller than what it looks like, as you know, he's stuck with roaches. And the base is going to fall. Brutal lock-ons. Vipers coming in. Bearing in mind that that cyclones don't really care about your blinding clouds, not with lock-ons. Yeah, Ducks 1. There are Broodlords on the way. Broodlords that would be able to shut this down. He needs more time though, as the entire expansion goes down. Does a duct. Gets what? 3 cyclones. He will lose another base, another expansion. Yeah, it's 2 bases going down. And Shinny just can't do anything about this army. Not yet, not until the Broodlords. And they have arrived. Now, what's scary for GuMiho is that he doesn't know. He hasn't seen the Broodlords yet. Oh no, Shin! What are we doing? Oh, the Broodlord's getting caught out. They get spotted. Okay, does pull away. Whew. Does pull away in time. Thor production has begun. We need Thors, we need Vikings, we need more anti-air. But Shin, he has some momentum. I mean, did lose 2 bases, and he's still losing them. He's losing even more. So you're trying to sneak up on those Broodlords. So far, unable to. Hellbats are cleaned up. Once again, nice abductions. As Thors are amassing. And Thors, they're an okay answer. They're okay. We have +1 ship weapons on the way. Do we have a starport? I mean, so far there's just the one. Making medevacs? Let's go. What's the plan? Thor drops. Let's go. Still only 1 starport though. Just the 1 starport. Oh. The Viper's getting called out. Losing 1. Losing 1. Losing up to 2. 2 Vipers go down. Catching out reinforcements as well. Again, the Cyclones dealing with the rest of the army. I mean, they excel. Just not against the Broodlords. It's buying time. He's buying time. Here come the Hydras. As the base goes down, looks like it's going to be a one-way trip. GuMiho, he will lose this army. He's going straight. He's going further into the main. Only one way. Does get a couple of drones. Does get a couple of workers. Does force the entire army back home. The planetary survived, by the way. That's crazy. That should have gone down. As GuMiho, yep, he can go back to mining. The Thors are here. And now, this is where I would say we have too many Thors. We have 8 Broodlords against 9 Thors. Thors are good, but Thors, they need that. Against specifically Hydra-based compositions like this, I'm a little bit concerned. No Neural. Neural is still a ways away. There's our first blinding cloud. Hydra's moving in. I'm loving the juggling here, but again, the Thors are on their own, and these Thors, they should not win this fight. As Thors are going to be cleaned up, but they do reset the Broodlord count. So, that was a messy fight. Yeah, GG gets called. Shin at the same time, drones are getting roasted in the main base. He has no economy. He has no bases. He's on, what, 1 base? 1 base mining. GG, and GuMiho, he will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. I was a little bit concerned about that fight with the Thors, and again, it was like a quote-unquote even trade, but I guess that's all he needed. Remember, the Broodlords, I was surprised they didn't kill the base. Remember the Planetary on the right-hand side? It was sacked twice. There was no anti-air, but the Broodlords didn't kill the expansion, so the Planetary survived. Economically, GuMiho, he was ahead. He had a massive lead economically, and Shin was losing bases, losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line. He could not sustain those losses, even if he could clean up all the Thors. There was nothing left. There was nothing else there. GG, well played. With that, GuMiho, he'll advance on into the decider match. Let's go. Does advance on. And we're here to determine who is going to be the next Terran player through into the next round. Meanwhile, my condolences to Shin. As Shin, he is going to be... As Shin, he's going to be eliminated from GSL. Last season, Season 1, Shin, he did fail to even qualify for Season 1, so at least he was a part of Season 2. But here, it was a little bit rough for Shin. He found himself in a group of Terran, and this is where Shin can struggle at times. I would say that ZVT as probably his weakest matchup. I know he did defeat Clem at DreamHack Dallas, but that was very specific builds, very specific styles, and very different to what we saw here. Remember, he was playing Roach into Ultras against Clem at DreamHack Dallas, but here at GSL, every time he tried to play Roach, he got shut down. Like, ByuN, he punished Shin's Roach play so hard, and here GuMiho just embracing mech. Just embracing mech. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. So my condolences to Shin as he is out of the tournament. And the question becomes, who was the final Terran player through? Bunny, he made it through in first place. But who will make it through in second? Will it be ByuN or GuMiho in our final TBT and our final series of the broadcast? Let's go. Let us go. As I'm ready for more mech. Let's go. It's game one. It's gonna be on ley lines. It's gonna happen. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing SHUL Esports. It is GuMiho. The mech god himself. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And oh my god, we're proxying. We have not just one, we have two SCVs for GuMiho, and we have not just one, but two SCVs. Sorry, two SCVs for GuMiho and two SCVs for ByuN. Let's go. And they see each other. they spot each other as well. That's a little bit awkward. Oh, actually, no. GuMiho. Okay, balls away. Proxy's in the center. He still commits. He's scouting. Yeah, he's checking. He knows. He's like, hold up, something's wrong, something's weird. And GuMiho, he will find the proxy. He will find the building SCV, and he will deny the racks. Ay. Again, a bit of a Spider-Man moment there, where both players were doing the same build, but GuMiho, he does shut down the proxy. Meanwhile, ByuN, he has no idea of the proxy in the center of the map. So late racks out of ByuN. GuMiho, he's in a better position. And again, just a really awkward game state here. Now, ByuN, he saw the SCV earlier, but he also saw it go back. He's checking. And he does check, does confirm. ByuN, he will come across the proxy, but he won't stop it. He will not stop it. This one will finish. And the Reaper production is going to be in favor of GuMiho. The Reaper's already on the way. ByuN, his own racks is not done. Is that just game? I mean, this is just such a big delay. It's such a massive delay here. I mean, sure, there's going to be SCV, so we can pull the boys, right? ByuN is going to have to pull the boys to protect that Reaper. Behind this, factory's on the way. Delay of actual proxy. Oh, it's delayed proxy. and shut and like scattered proxy racks against what GuMiho is going for. He's checking here. Ooh, so he doesn't quite assert his advantage. Basically, GuMiho, he was making sure that there was no proxy finishing, and he pulls back. Yeah, he does pull back, does pull away. Behind this, ByuN, I love that he's here like in his mineral line. Basically, his Reaper is safe in the mineral line because he can pull the boys. So he pulls away for now. Just being safe. GuMiho, he doesn't commit. Expanding back at home. We're building up. Okay. We are building up from here. GuMiho, he can catch that Reaper. He can, and he will. Yeah, the Reaper is going to go down. Nice pickup. Takes down the Reaper. Marines are under fire. No more production. There's only 2 Marines. Yeah, only 2 Marines left. But last, GuMiho is going to be forced back. Again, a dangerous position there for ByuN. Remember, he has a reactor on the racks in the factory. Okay, the Hellion is popping out. Hellion has arrived. Whew, he's okay. ByuN is okay. Behind this, GuMiho going into mech with accelerators, committing into mech. No surprise there. No surprise for GuMiho. Pulls away, massing up more Cyclones. And what's important here as well is that ByuN is contained. ByuN, he's stuck on 1 base. GuMiho taking his own, already starting to saturate. GuMiho does have the greater economy. The Cyclone has arrived. And he has high ground vision. Gets a lock on. Gets a Marine. Takes down the Marine, just bullying ByuN back. ByuN does break out. Again, we're just looking for the lock-ons. So far, ByuN holding on, going for a drop. Second Cyclone has arrived. If GuMiho realized what's going on, he can't just break the natural. He's going in. He's going in for the natural. Going in for the mineral line. Does get an SCV. And 1, 2, 3 SCVs going down. ByuN relying so heavily here on this drop. Does boost into the main. GuMiho out of position. He's rallying everything across the map. Oh my god. Nice control. And we're about to get a little bit chaotic here because all these SCVs are falling, but at the same time, ByuN gets into the main. Gets into the main base. GuMiho has to pull away. SCVs are falling from both sides. ByuN, I feel like GuMiho could try to break into the main. I was thinking about it. Going for the CC. At the same time, I have GuMiho defense. He defends back at home. And is that going to be a kill? That is! I have to kill the CC. The command center goes down. ByuN down to 1 base. Just 1 base setup. Once again, I'm loving the breaking of the lock-ons. Does micro, does lift those Cyclones. He does save his army. And GuMiho is getting a 3rd CC. Doesn't even need it right now, I'll be honest. Going into BC production? He has a fusion core. What's going on? Let's go. GuMiho takes the lead, kills the natural. So what does he do? He expands, gets to 3rd base, and works towards BC production. Tech Lab is on the way. Going for battle cruisers. This is unnecessary, but sure. It's a little bit scary. ByuN's all in. ByuN essentially 1 base all in. Like, it's all or nothing for ByuN. GuMiho will siege. Tank Boy is going up. And GuMiho should shut this down. Takes out both Cyclones, takes out medevac. GG gets called, and GuMiho, he will take game number 1. He will take a lead in the series. Whew. GG. He will take a lead again. A very chaotic game stage with initially mirrored builds. Remember, both ByuN and GuMiho went proxy 2 racks, but ByuN faltered. ByuN, once his SCV got scattered, he pulled away. He pulled away the second SCV, I should say. GuMiho, he committed. Also, GuMiho, he recognized. He's like, hold on. Why was your SCV moving out like that? That is not normal. Like, SCV scouts are a rare thing in this matchup. So for the SCV to go back was very suspicious. And with that, GuMiho, he checked. He confirmed he read it well. He shut down the proxy, and with that, took a lead from there. ByuN, he was behind for that moment. He was trying to recover, trying to settle back in. GuMiho, faster natural, faster economy, more map control. GG. GG, well played. GuMiho just all over ByuN in that game. And with that, GuMiho takes the lead, and now we are jumping to game number 2. Game number 2 going to be on Tokamak. We'll see if ByuN can force the ace match, or if GuMiho can close it out here and now. Let's go. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing SHUL Esports, leading the series 1-0, and 1 game away from advancing on into the next round of GSL. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back, we'll see if he can recover and force the ace match for Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. As the players are setting up. And this time, we're calming down. This time, the Raxes are back at home. This time, there is no proxy, there is no cheese, there is no hyper-aggression. This time, we're just going to calm things down and get into mech from back home. Because if we know one thing, it's a GuMiho. He's going to throw in extra factories. Like that. That's just going to happen. Oh, boy. Unfortunately, we were denied the battle cruisers. GuMiho last game, he was working towards them. He had the tech lab on the way. He was going to have some fun with some BCs, but I didn't quite get there. We'll see if he can get there this time. Here we go. As GuMiho does open up double gas. So double gas to open out of GuMiho. What does that mean? That means a faster factory. So faster tech, faster factory out of GuMiho. ByuN opening up single gas, so he's going for a faster CC, a faster economy. So we have a more economic opener out of ByuN. We have a more aggressive opener out of GuMiho. I say aggressive. You could also argue this is safer. Basically, if ByuN was going for a proxy, if he was proxy 2-axing 2 games in a row, then GuMiho would be able to shut it down. But we can see that ByuN is just being more greedy than anything. So as we open up, I do want to favor ByuN when it comes to getting into a longer game, but GuMiho with the faster tech means that he will have the potential to get some earlier damage. Ooh, as we are going for a proxy starport. Okay, let's go. Now this could be one of two things. This could be, we could be massing up Hellion Reaper and we could go for a Hellion drop into the main, or this could be Hellion Reaper for the natural and we can go proxy Liberator instead. For a Liberator right into the mineral line, right into the main base. So do we go Lib, do we go Medevac? Yet to be determined. Regardless, this is all in favor of the natural. Like there's no natural. The natural was heavily delayed for GuMiho in favor of the starport. So hyper aggression from our Terran. And we have the answer, Liberator, not Medevac, so Liberator into the main base. Meanwhile, we Reaper Hellion towards the natural, causing a distraction. Going for the mineral line, SCV goes down. Ooh, but GuMiho is trapped. Yeah, he's going to be trapped here, he's going to be locked down. Rough position for GuMiho. And losing this army too soon is brutal. I say that, he's breaking it under my he breaks out. No shot. He was supposed to be trapped, but he does break free, does break out, does take the fight, and ByuN's in trouble. ByuN, he's in trouble here, as now he has less to do with this army. Liberator is making its way in, and this Cyclone has to defend against the Lib, but also defend against this army as well. He can only do one. He can only do one. Oof. As Marines are getting punished, he breaks through the Marine line. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 Marines go down. And here comes that Liberator into the main base. Cyclone, what do we do? For now, distracted by the Hellions. Mining is being denied. The boys being pulled into the Hellion shots. Oh my god. As you wait for the workers. 6 SCV kills already. Getting 7. 7 SCVs go down. GuMiho expanding behind this. And this is good damage, but oh, he will lose that Liberator. Yeah, there's no escaping. Liberator falls, and we're going Fusion Core. Now, this is dangerous because ByuN knows there's a proxy. ByuN, he knows that there has to be a proxy starport, but he doesn't look for it. He goes across the map instead, which means this battlecruiser is going to be coming. Drop across the map. Oh no. GuMiho, he's ready to intercept. Hoping to intercept. Doesn't quite pull it off. Drop is coming in. Banshee across the map. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have a soon-to-be 2 Cyclones. I do favor ByuN here. ByuN has micro potential. There we go. Breaks the lock-on. Does break the lock-on. Scouts the fusion core. He knows. He knows. He's aware of the lock-on here on the medevac. The medevac is going to go down. Massive pick-off. GuMiho defends. He defends. Likewise, he attacks across the map as well. Ooh, Banshee falls. The Banshee wasn't quite worth it. And remember, the fusion core got scattered. Do we still make the battlecruiser in this position? Like, ByuN knows. Do it. Go for it, Pappy. Go for it. There it is. He's going for the BCs. He's crazy. Let's go. Oh, no. See you in the chat. Is this the final series? Yes, yes. This is the final series of the day. The final series of the group. To determine who makes it through into the next round and who is eliminated from the tournament. And we're still sending it. He's you know what he's doing? He's going BC despite being scattered. And he's going for a 3rd CC as well. God damn it. Is GuMiho being too greedy? As ByuN is pushing, by the way. And yeah, I was about to say that again, ByuN, he knows it's a proxy. He will find it. He will shut it down. Yeah, this battlecruiser is a little bit too ambitious. At the same time, auto charge harass across the map. Auto charge into natural. Ooh, this is a brutal also. As ByuN, he will lose that Raven. Raven does go down. And this BC should not complete. Yeah, it's a little bit too ambitious there. It is going to be denied. And now, as we take a moment here, where exactly are we going? Double starport. Mate. GuMiho. Is he going to go double starport, double tech lab, double BC production? It's happening. He's doing it. He's crazy. Okay. Okay. I see you. Show us the tech labs. Show us the tech labs, man. Aye, aye, aye. He's going 2-port BC in the TVT. On 2 bases, by the way. I mean, he's getting a 3rd. Yeah, there it is. There's the first tech lab. Tech lab is okay. Just 1 tech lab, but Viking first to be safe, then another tech lab. Crazy. At least he's making the Viking first. Meanwhile, ByuN is being hyper aggressive. Again, GuMiho is being so greedy here. There's a high chance that he's going to be punished for it. He's checking and scanning for a 3rd. There's a 3rd CC on the way. ByuN dropping into the natural. GuMiho not quite in position. He does have a tank. He does have some Cyclones. But ByuN just has a massive supply lead here. Armor supply lead specifically. And we'll see if GuMiho can hold. Here comes the drop. Drop does avoid the natural, going straight into the main. Tank does siege. And boys are being pulled away. Boys are being pulled. Lock-on on the tank. Very nice lock-ons. And GuMiho is cleaning this up. Will clean this up. Very nice defense. At the same time, though, the 3rd is under fire. Bleeding out 6 SCVs. He is going 2-port BC, by the way. It's another medevacs. Medevacs stay rally through. Both medevacs go down. ByuN, that was an expensive trade. He lost 2 tanks and 2 medevacs. Yeah, big losses for ByuN. But he does at least contain GuMiho on 2 bases, and he takes his own. Takes his own 3rd. 4th CC is on the way for GuMiho. We can see ByuN now going for a 2nd starport, going into Mass Viking. That's going to be his answer to 2 battlecruisers. Did he scout? He did. Yeah, he saw. He saw the BC production. He knows. So even though he lost both medevacs, that was actually worth it, I would say. Like, just so this doesn't catch him off guard. Like, ByuN, he knows what's happening. Massing up more Vikings. First BC moving out. There is a turret in position. Turret at the natural, turret in the 3rd, and turret in the main. Again, ByuN, he's ready. He can steal the tech lab? He can. If you recall, when we were casting, if you, I think it sounds like you missed the, maybe you missed the Korean qualifier. In the Korean qualifier, GuMiho did steal the tech lab over the weekend. I think it was against, was it against Bunny? I think it was against Bunny. But you can steal the tech lab. This is a VOD. The stream is live. There's not a VOD. Oh. But here we go. Cyclones in towards the natural. BCs, they're going to be denied by the Mass Viking. ByuN holds. Yeah, does hold on. Likewise, the Vikings here. They land on the tanks. They're going to clean everything up. And GuMiho, he will lose the army. Tanks are all cleaned up. They're all shut down. That's going to appear out of ByuN. GuMiho bleeding out so many tanks. Behind this, so look at that worker count. Thanks to that 4 CC as well. Up to 78 SCVs. GuMiho with a booming economy. That's what's keeping him in this game. Did I say 4th? That's a 5th CC, by the way. The 4th is already done. It's floating over. That's GuMiho being so greedy, just mass expanding. And again, the Terran player that mass expands like this is terrifying, because they will have the more efficient army. Only time our result? No, this is a couple of days though. Couple of days. As we're going for the doom drop.
Our SCVs are
GuMiho moving in. Oh! That weren't quite intercept. Yeah, going for the 4th base. The CC is under fire. It's going to go down. Yeah, the 4th base is denied. ByuN pushing in towards the natural. We have mass BC behind this. How many Vikings? 15. Ooh, 15 Vikings. Not bad. As GuMiho is still making more battle cruisers. As he's going across the map. Does make his way over. Oh, catching up 2 tanks. Nice big by ByuN. Very nice pickoffs. So we do trade. We can teleport back home. BC's a shut down an expansion. Speaking of shutting down expansions, though, yeah, GuMiho, there's no escaping this. Like, he can try to save, but no shot. He just doesn't really have the army to work with. Again, the army supply here for GuMiho not high enough. He does save the SCVs, though. Does save his workers. The command center should go down. Again, GuMiho barely has an army. And he's searching. Oh, ByuN doesn't find it. Likewise, I should emphasize, when it comes to the army, it's mainly Viking for ByuN. ByuN has 20 Vikings and 1 tank. It's insane. He has more Vikings than Marines, and almost as many Vikings as Marines and Marauders to put together. The Mass Viking, let's go. Jesus. GuMiho trying to catch him out. Okay, does move forward. Takes down 2. 2 more tanks going down. Rotating over. GuMiho did save his workers. They did just rally. And in the face of this army, GuMiho is just going mass cyclone. And a couple of tanks. A couple of tanks building up. BC's moving out for another counterattack. This time there are turrets ready. This time ByuN is prepared. ByuN still has momentum, still has map control. Does spot the cyclones. He reacts with his ground army. Vikings are on the way. And they're close enough. They're going for the BCs. And looks like they will snipe one. Oh, it's close. Barely not. Barely not. And ByuN now going to Master Liberator. We have the Fusion Core on the way. Again, the Fusion Core for ByuN should just be for Liberator range to go into Viking Lib. ByuN is the first to max out. Now, what is scary here is that ByuN, he has done a great job when it comes to denying the 5th base. True, he's denied the 5th base twice now, which is great and all. But what's scary here as we are maxing out is that he's giving GuMiho time to max out. So even though ByuN has had the larger army for quite some time, that is soon about to change. Soon about to change here. As GuMiho is catching up. And I would say with a more efficient army, at this point I would say that there's just a lot of supply invested into these Vikings, and I don't know if that's necessarily worth it. Like it's a lot of supply here in Vikings for ByuN. I mean, GuMiho is still making BCs, so I guess it is worth it, I guess. We'll see, depending on the engage. What kind of Vikings? I mean, in this kind of game state, Thors are a good addition. Cyclones as well. Like, over time, we can just pick away at the Viking count and whittle it down. But a lot of it will come down to the engagement, right? Like, on the one hand, yes, Cyclones and Thors, they can punish Vikings, but that's what the Liberators are for, right? The Liberators are designed to take control of the ground, right? To take control of the ground, to zone back the army. So it depends on how the armies kind of come together, how they clash, how they engage. It still comes down to the positioning. So far it's going to be 3 Thors. Battlecruisers, they do have their teleports. Vikings, they're coming in. They're on the chase. Is that teleport? Does get away. At the same time, actually supporting the main army. Here come the Thors. And the Thors are here. Tanks are pushing in. Ooh, ByuN out of position. The base is forfeit. Yeah, the base is forfeit. The base is going to go down. ByuN was out of position. Now moving in. Gotta respect those liberation zones. The freedom is here. Freedom is now. Yeah, ByuN just going for the counterattack. Going for the base trade, potentially. Yeah, he just sends it right down mid across the map instead. GuMiho out of position. We're just going for the bases. Going for the tanks, going for the third. GuMiho is trying to race back home. But ByuN's already here. ByuN will knock down the expansions. Cyclone's running around as well. Down goes one of the CCs. ByuN now going for the planetary. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he wants those Vikings. Now, what's scary here is that the Liberators aren't there to support. The Liberators are across the map. So ByuN fighting without his Liberators. And ByuN, he will get 31 SCVs. That's a lot of economic damage. We'll take down 2 bases. And he has to pull away. GuMiho is unable to keep up. So ByuN, he will escape. GuMiho from here will keep on pushing. The Liberators are still a little bit late to reposition, but they're on the way. They're now moving in. And again, GuMiho is forced to make his own Vikings. Like, it's all about air control. Like, that's what TVT turns into. It's just all about air control here. And GuMiho is going to have to get rid of his tanks slowly over time and make more Vikings. He needs more of his own Vikings. Nice lock-ons. Liberators late to siege. Another base going down. Oh, GuMiho has to fight with his Thors. Takes down the CC. Oh. GuMiho does overextend. Nice lock-ons with the Cyclones. Cyclones, they do punish. Base goes down. And BC's going into the main. Oh, here comes that liberation though, and the Thors are stuck. Yeah, Thors have to fight. They're gonna be shut down. BC's into the main. There's not really much to kill here though. They can go for some production. Okay, they get the CC. They get the command center. Oh, this is an orbital, not a planetary. Uh-oh. Never mind. ByuN does hold. ByuN, he holds, he defends. Vikings punished by the Thors. Thors moving in. Vikings, they land. ByuN, he can take this fight. Yeah, he can, and he will. The Vikings, they overwhelm. They shut down the army. GuMiho plummeting in supply. Oh, likewise, a rough fight. Vikings for ByuN, just too good. He's hunting down those BCs. Teleport's on cooldown. He can't escape. He can't get away. The BCs, they're going down. Finally. Yeah, one BC falls. We can guide back. Gets one. Gets two. And again, there's no escape. There's no escaping this. Every BC will fall. And from here, GuMiho, he'll lose like the backbone of his army. Lose every single battle cruiser. At the same time, Hellions are denying some mining. True. Getting some SCV kills. But ByuN has an army. ByuN, he has an army. I can't say the same for GuMiho. What a game. What this all started with attempted proxy BC. It's crazy. Yeah, it's from here. GuMiho is just bleeding out supply, bleeding out units, Hellions, Cyclones. ByuN has a 70 supply lead. And what does GuMiho have left? GuMiho, he has 5 Cyclones, he has 6 Hellions. Just doesn't really have much left. And ByuN, he should have this. Again, he was just able to establish and race into that air control really early on. I would say a lot of this game actually did hinge upon the fact that ByuN saw the double starport earlier, if you remember. Like, that did trigger ByuN to get his own second starport and get his own Viking production underway. If it wasn't for that scouts, I mean, it would have been a very different game. But he did see everything. With that, GuMiho, who lose another expansion. GuMiho down to 1.5 base mining. Going for bottom right. Liberator will deny. Yeah, as more SCV is going to be falling. 20 SCV kills. And ByuN is going in for the kill. Now it just brings everything together. He's moving in. This again, just a handful of Cyclones. Handful of units left. Liberation has arrived. Oh god. And no, it's coming in. GG gets called. GG as GuMiho, he is broken, and ByuN will tap the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We're going all the way to game 3. Again, a very intense back and forth. It all began with GuMiho being hyper aggressive, going for a 1-1-1 proxy starport. Initially did well, if you recall. Initially he was doing a lot of damage, but then he went into the Banshee and the BC follow, which got scouted, it got shut down. The BCs never really got any damage, really. Like they at times got a couple of workers, got a couple of pickoffs, but nothing too substantial. In the end, ByuN was able to scout, able to confirm, able to shut them down time and time again. We did see GuMiho had some good moments here when it came to his main pushes, but ByuN did a great job of punishing it, just counterattacking, right? Just recognizing he could not push into the tank line, just counterattacking, and likewise was able to scout early enough to confirm that he needed to go into Mass Viking. And really, those are the MVPs to deny the BCs, to gain air control, and to allow his Liberators to dominate. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going all the way to the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Maganatha for the final game of the series. Let's go. Who's proxying this time? Who's... Oh no. Let's find out. As we are getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing SA2L Esports. It is GuMiho. Being forced into the ace match. Being forced and brought into game 3. We'll see if we can bring it back. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Bringing it back and forcing game 3. Momentum is on his side. It is ByuN. Here we go. So now we're settling in. And again, welcome to Maganatha. Maganatha being the largest map in the map pool, longest rushes and spike grounds. We do expect GuMiho to embrace mech again, but this time no proxy. This time the Raxes are both back at home. Last game, GuMiho did go for a proxy starport, but I can't imagine he'll do that again. I can't imagine. We'll see. Double gas. Double gas opener out of GuMiho, Rax expand out of ByuN. Once again, ByuN going for the economic start. Once again, GuMiho going for a faster factory into a faster starport into just faster tech. All the tech. Yeah. So we have that factory on the way. So far, so good. We're settling in. There's no SCV out on the map, not this time. Reaper scouting for proxies. Again, it is ByuN, so wouldn't put it past him to proxy even in the ace match. So we're just checking here for the proxy Rax location, making sure he's safe before expanding. So a very safe setup here from GuMiho. Once again, checking here towards the third base location as well. Once again, confirming no proxy. ByuN did the same. ByuN, you can see here he did scout the third location as well. So both players making sure. Ensuring there's no shenanigans. Jump here, add-ons open to Cyclones. I'm sure the first of many. And ByuN going for his own tech lab on the factory as well. It is risky to move out with the first unit, but GuMiho is checking for the CC timing. Does confirm the orbital's already on the way. He can compare it with his own. He knows it was a faster CC. So he knows that ByuN is being more greedy, more economic. Oh, okay. Going for the add-on swap. From here, we can go into early Banshee or early Raven. And the answer is Banshee. Banshees are on the way. So GuMiho opening up Cyclone Banshee. Meanwhile, ByuN opening up with no tech up on the starport, going for the drop play instead. So Cyclone drop out of ByuN. Cyclone Banshee out of GuMiho. And we'll see if ByuN can get across the map. As again, he's waiting for that starport. Does load up. Does move out. ByuN, sorry, I should say GuMiho does barely scout the drop. Oh, getting position. Does get in position. Hellions at the same time into the mineral line. GuMiho getting pulled apart, losing 2 SCVs. Oh, just the one. Just one SCV. And there shouldn't be as much of a surprise here, but GuMiho, third CC. Third CC after the starport. Very greedy here. I believe ByuN saw this. ByuN, yeah, he did see, he did confirm. He responds with his own third. So GuMiho's third is faster. ByuN, a reactive third CC, is on the way. Not too much later than his opponent. We're building up. Factories on the way, should be no surprise. We do see mech from GuMiho. Meanwhile, ByuN going into his own Raven, into his own Endurance Matrix, into what should be ByuN as a follow-up. What should be. Oh, second starport already here out of GuMiho. So a big adjustment as opposed to the previous game. Really early Viking production out of GuMiho and a big prioritization of the second starport. So basically this game, GuMiho, he's ensuring that he will maintain air control with mass Viking. So double starport production early on. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Ravens or no Viking here by ByuN. ByuN, he barely did not see the second starport, so he's not aware. Just getting into his own bio production, his own Marine Marauder. And this is a more of a traditional form of mech here from GuMiho. Because he's going for the second starport, because he's investing into more Vikings, he is not going for max full accelerators, he is fixated on mass tank Viking. Now you might be thinking, is this greedy? The answer is yes. You can see how vulnerable this tank line is. Yes, there are a lot of tanks, but they are so spread out and there's so little to support them. The way to do so here, we have to land the Vikings. Like, if there's ever an early push, if ByuN were to move out, we need to land those Vikings to protect these tanks. It's the only way. We have to pull the boys as well. It can be a very messy defense. GuMiho is being greedy. Behind this, Fusion Core. Ooh, that's a tech lab. That's not a reactor. He's going into BC again, but this time unscouted. So far, he likes his BCs, but he likes them. So working towards his battle cruisers. Scan towards the base, does get eyes on the Viking count, so now he's aware of the prioritization of Vikings. Ooh, ByuN out of position, losing 5 SCVs. 5 SCVs going down. Nice run by here by GuMiho, likewise locking onto the Raven. Banshee does make it out. BC production has begun. For all ByuN knows, we still have more Vikings on the way, right? Like, he knows that, okay, all the Vikings and the Banshee as well, there should be a second starport. He's aware of that much at least. ByuN is moving out. ByuN is pushing. As we mentioned before, GuMiho has been quite greedy here, but at this point it might be too late. How many tanks is that? 7 tanks. Again, very little support outside of Vikings. Tanks are very vulnerable on their own, but if they can siege up in time, it's going to be fine. Yeah, GuMiho does spot the rocks. He's ready. Yeah, GuMiho set up. Massive tank voice going off. Oh my god, does punish ByuN. Raven goes down. Medevac as well. And another Viking. Not quite the Raven. Second Raven does survive. And the BCs are amassing. And they are completely unscattered. Now double armory on the way. Double upgrades. ByuN going for drop play. Zonaga's in favor of GuMiho. Likewise, spotter racks as well. Gonna be difficult to get across. As he barely will miss the Medemax. Medevac's moving out. BC coming in. Ooh. As ByuN is set. He's set up. He's sieged up. Ooh. Losing the Raven though. Yeah, both Ravens go down. Drop into the main. GuMiho doesn't react. Does he respond? The answer is no. There's nothing at home. He's committing. He's going all in. Yeah, the BC has revealed itself. There we go. Does teleport back home to defend. The one BC against Mass Marine. Not going to be easy. Boys are being pulled. And they will go for the mass repair. At the same time, expansion does fall. The Bio Army tries to focus on the starport, and looks like he will get the starport just barely. But GuMiho still has the lead. Yeah, 2 more. 1 falls, 2 more rises take its place. Why not just mass starport, more BCs? At the same time, ByuN coming from behind, but there's a tank line. Yeah, the tanks are siege, tanks are ready. Vikings, they need to land. He needs to land. Oh, going for the Medivacs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. GuMiho, he shuts down the army anyway. ByuN running into the tank line, and GuMiho, he will take the series 2-1. He will overwhelm and take down ByuN, knocking him out of GSL. GG. GG, well played. GuMiho will claim the series. He will advance on to the round of 8 of GSL, and ByuN is out of the tournament. A very intense TVT, very intense back and forth, and a very unique TVT as well. GuMiho not just playing mech, but twice now rushing into his own BC production, this time unscouted. But to be honest, it wasn't really about the BCs this game. Even before that, GuMiho was taking better fights. He got a faster third base, a greater economy. He shut down the drop play, shut down the aggression. GuMiho was all over ByuN. Even if it wasn't for the BCs, like, he would have been able to overwhelm regardless. So really strong and powerful play there by GuMiho. Congratulations, as he will go on over ByuN. And that will be actually our final series of the broadcast. That does wrap up our group, as we can switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Let's go. And we can do more than that as well. So from the top, gee, there was so much tearing. So much tearing. But Bunny did initially take down GuMiho 2-1. Bunny was doing a much better job, I would say, at punishing the greed. GuMiho, even here against ByuN, you saw that GuMiho was being very greedy against ByuN, and for the most part he was able to get away with it. If you want to see the inverse of that, if you want to see GuMiho being greedy and being punished time and time again, GuMiho versus Bunny. Bunny was much more aggressive, much more assertive, and Bunny did a great job at shutting GuMiho down in that first series. Likewise, Bunny doing a great job at also embracing mech against ByuN as well, and also being able to overwhelm. Also being actually punishing ByuN's greed as well, actually. Where ByuN tried to cheese, tried to proxy, and likewise ByuN tried to be greedy himself, and he was punished time and time again by Bunny. So really aggressive TVT out of Bunny. This group was successful, did make it through. Meanwhile, SHIN having a bit of a harder time here. In the first series against ByuN, SHIN, he himself was cutting corners and going for roach play, and he was being denied just from the beginning. It was brutal seeing that. ByuN, he was hard countering SHIN in game 1. As a reminder, SHIN, he went for, it was like a 340-ish roach horn timing, or maybe even 330, like really early roach timing from SHIN. ByuN opened up 1-1-1, no third CC, early Banshee. He completely shut SHIN down. Coming into game 2, we saw something similar with SHIN also playing roach a little bit later, a little bit more standard roach play out of SHIN, but ByuN was able to pull SHIN apart and break SHIN before he could really get into his own game. Like, it was just really aggressive build and a really aggressive play out of ByuN, denied SHIN, and GuMiho had a different approach. He mech'd. He did mech it up against SHIN instead, and having a lot of success there. So SHIN was the first player out of the group, and of course here towards the end we had GuMiho taking down ByuN as well, but a very intense back and forth between GuMiho and ByuN. GG, well played. Congratulations with that. GuMiho and Bunny will make it through into the round of 8. ByuN and SHIN are knocked out of GSL. And with that, we have wrapped up both Group A and Group B. Now, if you missed out on the previous broadcast, we were live this morning. You can see, bam, you can see here. We are on Tuesday. We are here Tuesday. We just wrapped up 2 broadcasts of GSL. We had the morning broadcast with Group A, and we had the evening broadcast with Group B. So we just wrapped up both groups. I do recommend the VODs. Group A was a lot of fun as well. Was very intense. A lot more longer games, what I will say, in Group A. It was like an hour extra long broadcast compared to this one. So here we had much shorter games and much more aggression. Earlier in the day we did have more macro, but I do recommend the VODs. That was a lot of fun. And let us catch up on GSL itself. If you missed out, and if you don't want to see any spoilers, if you missed out on the morning broadcast, if you missed out on GSL, avert your eyes, as we are going to go over the upcoming matches in the GSL. Here we go. So again, we just wrapped up with the initial group stage with Group Stage 1. Up next is going to be Group Stage 2. One moment. Here we go. Bam. Beautiful. As we are catching up. And from the top, we had the morning broadcast, of course. We had Solar and Down. We had Solar and Down advancing on over Creator and Cure. We already had a crazy upset this morning with Cure failing to advance on in the GSL, despite coming in second place, by the way. That was crazy group, crazy results. Solar and Down popping off in the morning. We just had Bunny and GuMiho popping off in the evening. And we have our 4 players advancing on from group stage 1 to join the invited player, I say invited, the seeded players from the qualifiers in group stage 2. We have our group seeded here. Here we go. Who was waiting for them? Rogue alongside Maru, Hero, and Classic. Jesus, we have a ZVT group and we have a Protoss group. Okay, so Group A will be consisting of Rogue, GuMiho, Solar, and Maru, 2 Zergs and 2 Terrans. Meanwhile, Group B is going to be Hero, Xian, Bunny, and Classic. 3 Protoss and 1 Terran player. Oh boy, and as you can see, 1 week away. 1 week from this message, or actually, technically a couple of hours less than a week. So a little bit less than a week. But June 11th here is going to be Group A. We're not going to be casting it live. That is covered by those over at Africa TV. I should say Soup. They're covered by those at Soup. On the Soup platform and on YouTube by Tasteless and State. They're going to be covering this live. We'll be covering this a couple of days later. It'll be like 2 days later, maybe 3 days later, but on the same week. So next week we'll still be casting this, but a couple of days later via replays. The live coverage will be done by Tasteless and State. And again, this is 1 week away. This is a week and a day away instead. So 7 days and 8 days respectively here for Group A and Group B. Bearing in mind that the reason why there's no, this isn't this week, there is no GSL this week, technically is because of Star Zagora. Star Zagora starts tomorrow, and a lot of Koreans are traveling to Star Zagora, so to accommodate GSL, they have taken a week off. They've taken a week off. That's why we were able to catch up with our own replay cast and catch up with GSL, because thankfully they do have a week break. So that does give us some time to kind of recover after the EWC week of qualifiers. So GSL returns next week with Group A and with Group B. Likewise, bearing in mind, GSL is a more condensed version this season, even this year, I should say this year, which is a bit of a shame. There's definitely a lot of criticism to it, but you know, we take what we can get at this point, and that means that day 1 is Group A, day 2 is Group B, and day 3, you can see here we have the playoffs, semifinals, and the grand finals as well are going to be taking place here not too long after, a week and 4 days. Yeah, sorry, a week and 4 days later, basically 2 days after Group B, or I guess 3 days. 3 days after Group B. So 3 days later is going to be the playoffs and the semifinals and the grand finals as well. So basically, all of this is going to wrap up next week. It's all wrapping up next week, so bear that in mind. That is going to be the remainder and finale of GSL, and again we'll be covering it a couple of days later. When it comes to these group and when it comes to predictions, it's going to be a hard one to call here. I'll be honest, Rogue ZVT hasn't been impressing me. It hasn't been looking too impressive. I do see GuMiho and Maru having the edge there. In general, actually, looking at this, I mean, on the one hand, Rogue and Solar, they have time to prepare, right? They have time to prepare. They have time to cook up some builds as well and get ready for these matchups. I definitely have seen some weakness from Maru in certain aspects of his play, but right now his ZVT is looking really solid. Obviously, he's been A-Raxing a lot. He's been doing a lot of A-Raxing, and Maru and GuMiho are very different players. Like, we expect A-Raxes out of Maru, we expect mech out of GuMiho, so very different Terran players for this group. I feel like a lot of this will come down to how Rogue and Solar come prepared. There are definitely ways to punish A-Raxing, and there are definitely ways to be safe against it or to commit to all-ins. So yeah, I feel like a lot of this will come down to, again, the preparation of Solar and Rogue for their Terran opponents. Meanwhile, for Group B, this is a hard one to call. Obviously, Bunny, all you have to do is focus on TVP. Just focus on Terran versus Protoss. That's easier said than done. And a lot of this may just come down to pure PvPs between Hero, Xian, and Classic. And on paper, I still stand by the statement that Hero is the best player in Korea right now. Like, he's the reigning GSL champion. Like, Hero is looking like a beast. Hero, he already beat Maru earlier as well in the qualifiers. Of season 1. So I'm going to be favoring Hero coming into this. But I will say that specifically in PvP, we have seen Classic bring him down. Like in PvP Classic, he has been hero more than a couple of times. Zhang can also threaten hero in PvP as well. So this is going to be a shaky group. Like, remember, we just saw Cure go down in the group stage earlier. He was second place last season. There's a chance that even Hero will make it out of the groups as well. Like, there's a chance. He's still favored. Like, he's still, I would say, the best Protoss player in the world for sure. But there's always a chance here. Like, these players can threaten him 100%. They can threaten him. So best of luck to everyone involved. Best of luck to all those that are going to be competing, of course, next week. Best of luck. Oh, but yeah, with that we're going to be wrapping up. With that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and again, we'll be covering these groups next week. Actually, I can give you a more straight answer. So next week GSL is going to be on the 11th of June, and we're going to be covering GSL when it's going to be on the 16th. Okay, 16th of June is going to be when we cover GSL. So that'll be like what, 5 days later. 5 days. So we'll be covering GSL on the 16th and the 17th, and I believe the 18th of June as well. No, yeah, 16th and 17th. 16th and 17th, pure GSL there is going to be on 16th, 17th. Otherwise, of course, Star Zagora is going to be tomorrow. Now, we will not be covering Star Zagora. Star Zagora, they have not allowed us to have like any kind of co-streaming rights or anything like that. So, and there's no B stream either from at least my understanding. So Star Zagora, they do have you covered when it comes to that event, and because of that, we do have a little bit less casting here this week. We also want to take some time to breathe. You can see our schedule. We just wrapped up with the GSL. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. KST, at 10 a.m. AST, we are live with the Pegasaur Cup. Pegasaur Cup, that is a weekly open tournament, so that is going to be in 11 hours. In 11 hours time, we're going to be live on this channel with some more StarCraft, but that's going to be the only cast for tomorrow in the afternoon. That is Star Zagora. That is Star Zagora. That is where Star Zagora does begin. So gonna leave that slot available to Star Zagora. They're gonna go live, they're gonna cast, they're gonna cover, and I believe that is a 4-day event. It's gonna be lasting four days. That's a lot of StarCraft, a lot of content. Do check it out. Likewise, we have the Latino American League on Thursday. We have Latin League on Thursday. We have the Podcast on Thursday as well. That is our weekly talk show where we talk all things StarCraft. We missed the podcast last week because there was just so much going on with EWC. We didn't have room to have our podcast or have our talk show, but this week we do. So we're going over all the news of the week and wrapping up and catching up with all the content, with all the tournament results. Likewise, we have the StarCraft Evolution League on Friday. We have Kung Fu Cup, we have Fire Grow Cup, we have some show matches, we have MSO, STC, plenty of content on the horizon. If you enjoyed the casting, if you want some more StarCraft, if you want to follow us, then ! Socials in the chat. We do post whenever we go live, and we post on a daily basis on said social medias, and we also upload daily on YouTube. So if you see something, if you can't watch it live, YouTube is the place to be. ! YouTube in the chat, or again, socials will give you a link as well. Again, we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, and we do also live stream on YouTube at the same time as Twitch. So all of our VODs are saved on YouTube under the live tab. They're all there for you, so you can watch at your convenience. Watch at your convenience. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in 11 hours for our next broadcast. Otherwise, you can follow me at light_VIP. I do also stream on my personal channel. I haven't been able to stream in quite some time because we're casting all the time. Basically, whenever we're not casting, then I'm streaming, and because we're not casting tomorrow evening, I should be live tomorrow. I'll try to ladder a little bit. I'll probably do some ladder and maybe play some other games. Again, I haven't laddered in so long. You know what? Let's have a look together here. Let's have a look together. Oh no. Match history. 7. It's been a week. It's been 7 days. It's been a week. It's been a week since last Saturday. It's been a while, Pappy. It's been a while. So because of that, we're very much so out of practice, very rusty. So expect a wall of red tomorrow if I do end up streaming, if I do end up laddering. So you can look forward to that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. So you can follow me there if you wish. I don't ladder here. We reserve the CranKy Ducklings just for casting. Just for more like you know, quote unquote professional content. We leave our ladder streams and like other games for our personal channels. That's how we do spread things out. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and look forward to GSL next week. We're going to be covering that, of course, and also check out Star Zagora. We won't be covering Star Zagora, but it's an event worth supporting anyway, as the best players in the world are going to be there. Otherwise, thank you so much, and hasta luego. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.